Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Music Mondays podcast. I'm your host, Zom Slays. I hope you're well. I hope you're chilling. Welcome. Today is October 16th, 2023. This is episode 143. How you doing, man? Today is um another Monday. Vac, what's good? Damn, it's Monday already. Indeed, it is Monday already, my friends. We are chilling. We have a decent amount of submissions to get through. We have a decent show planned. Lots of events going down around Music Mondays, my friends. Lots of stuff. So, as I said, I'm your host, Sam Slays, and this is episode 143. Let's get down to business. So, let's start with some weekly recap stuff, and then we'll move into some more regular content. So, weekly recap. Let's get down to business, my friends. So, a brand new SoundCloud exclusive flyer is available on all of our social medias. In case you missed that over the last week or so, we are still on the hunt for SoundCloud exclusives. So, if you're interested in getting a track hosted on our SoundCloud, a unreleased track, by the way, we're interested in exclusively unreleased tracks. We're not only trying to build our library, but to also give back to the community and give them some promo on some tracks that might otherwise not get it. So, very important. But again, a brand new SoundCloud exclusive flyer is available on all socials right now. Definitely go check that out and show that some love if you haven't already. That takes us to Thursday, actually. Thursday of last week, we dropped a brand new YouTube upload. When you should charge for features as a brand new underground artist. So again, that was an upload pretty exclusively for newer artists and things like that. People that are relatively unsure of kind of what they want to do in terms of how to sell features, how to network, and things like that. So if you missed that YouTube upload, definitely go check that out and go show that some love. And of course, we are very close to 220 subscribers on the channel. So if you're not subbed, definitely hit that subscribe button if you like what you see. Because we upload 2 days a week per usual, every Thursday, every Saturday on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. So that takes us to, I believe, Friday, where we dropped a brand new volume of Underground Classics. Underground Classics Volume 12 is available right now on our SoundCloud. That was curated by the homie Jaded, Music Money staff, writer, curator. Jaded's taken on multiple roles over the course of their tenure with Music Monday. So huge shout out to Jaded for taking on a bunch of roles and slamming some of this content down that we need to catch up on. So huge shout out to Jaded, man. And definitely go check out Underground Classics Volume 12. Now, per usual, if you don't know what Underground Classics is, it's a very personal playlist curated by exclusively Music Mondays staff members. So essentially, Underground Classics is their version of what they would consider underground classics, right? Things that they got into the scene with, tracks that they consider to be underground classics, tracks that introduced them to the underground, things like that. So again, Volume 12 is available right now, and that's curated by Jaded. Definitely go check that out and show that some love. So continuing on with Friday, a brand new article dropped on the Music Mondays homepage. That was written by Blank Thought. It was a Man to Myth review with their self-titled album Man to Myth. Now that was an absolute fucking banger because Blank Thought has been taking a step back from interview content and kind of leaning into more review type content, which I think is really, really cool. So definitely go check out that review if you're interested in Blank Thought's recent pieces. But of course, definitely just go run that up because the Man the Myth read, man, is really, really fucking excellent. Like really, really excellent. So definitely go check that out and definitely go show Blank Thought some love. So that takes us to about Saturday, my friends. So we kicked off with a brand new episode of Music Mondays on the YouTube channel. Episode 142 is available on all platforms. So that does include our YouTube channel, but you can take us on the go with Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, things like that. Definitely consider taking us on the go and showing us some love over there on the mobile side of things. But of course, huge shout out to the YouTube crew as well, because we'll always be able to upload every episode on our channel. Per usual, that's nothing new, but you can pretty much find the podcast everywhere. So definitely go show episode 142 some love, and huge shout out to everybody that submitted to episode 142. You guys are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And huge shout out to everybody that attended episode 142 as well. You guys are awesome. So this next thing kind of has to do with what we'd usually be talking about, but we're going to talk about it briefly. So again, that left us off on Sunday. So we kicked off Sunday with a brand new recruiting flyer. That got posted on all of our socials. We're still on the hunt for more Music Mondays roles. We're looking for writers, journalists, curators, designers, people that are interested in doing short form and long form content for Music Mondays. None of the roles are too demanding, but if you're interested in taking on more content, that is always available as well. Resume preferred, but definitely not required. We're pretty much open to anybody as long as they're passionate. As long as Music Mondays is something that interests you, and the underground is something that you genuinely care about, and you really want to see independent media and underground artists really thrive, Music Mondays is definitely the place for you. So definitely go check out our brand new recruiting flyer, and definitely go check out our roles video on our YouTube channel, where I break down pretty much all the Music Mondays staff roles. Everything from writers to curators to designers. I break down all their roles in more details, what's expected of them, what their content consists of, and things like that. So definitely go check that out and go show that some love. So, that takes us to the end of Sunday, actually. So the end of Sunday, we'd actually released SoundCloud Sunday Volume 104. We are well under our way into our 100 plus volumes, which is actually really nutty. Really, really nutty. So yeah. That's something that's just really, really cool, man. I'm ready for volume 200, to be honest with you. So SoundCloud Sunday is going to be something that's like super long term and like super forever. But volume 104 is available right now on our SoundCloud. Definitely go check that out. And that was curated by myself, Waterfalls, and Alvanco, our two staff curators. If you see them around, definitely go show them some love as well. But yeah, man. Again, per usual, like I always say, SoundCloud Sundays for everybody. So not only if you're an artist who's getting placed on SoundCloud Sunday, that needs to be something that you're sharing with other mutuals, people that are looking for playlists, people that are looking for new music, people that are looking for new everything. Definitely go check that out and share that with your friends if you get placed. And again, huge shout out to everybody that's supporting SoundCloud Sunday and supporting every one of our content pieces, because we do this for you guys. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that takes us to today, Monday, October 16th, 2023, episode 143. So what's coming up on Music Mondays for the foreseeable future? Let's talk about it. Per usual, before we get into that, let's talk exclusives, let's talk recruiting. So, per usual, like I say, every show, Music Mondays is recruiting. We are looking for writers, journalists, curators, designers, content creators, people that want to do short form and long form content for our YouTube channel, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, things like that. So, if that's something you're interested in, definitely get in contact with us. Send us your resume, send us a DM, send us your portfolio, or if you're somebody who's like totally new to the underground scene, but you're really passionate about what you love and what you listen to and underground art, we're definitely open to having that conversation as well. So definitely get in contact with us if any of those roles interest you, and if you need more details on any of those roles, definitely go check out our roles video on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. That one pretty much breaks down all of the roles in detail. Like I said, pretty much what's required of you, what the content consists of, and things like that. So, that's recruiting. But SoundCloud Sunday exclusives, per usual. We are on the hunt. We are looking for unreleased SoundCloud tracks to host on our SoundCloud. Not only help grow our SoundCloud and provide some content for our audience, but to also kind of give back to a couple of artists and people that might need promo that might not otherwise get it. So, of course, you'll be promoted across all of our social media free of charge. We're just interested in hosting the SoundCloud version of your track, so feel free to distro that track anywhere you want. You can throw it on Spotify, you can throw it on Apple Music, you can throw it wherever. You can do music videos, things like that, but we're only interested in the SoundCloud version. So, Definitely get in contact with us if that's something you're interested in. And of course, same goes for YouTube. If you're interested in getting a music video, a YouTube video, a lyric video, a visual posted on the Music Mondays YouTube channel, of course, unreleased, and you're wanting us to host it and promote it, we're also down for that as well. So definitely get in contact with us and definitely shoot us a message or an email if that's something you're interested in. So, let's talk Music Mondays future. So, over the next couple of weeks, we have a stack of content ready to come out for you guys, along with a stack of events happening. A lot of really important stuff is on the way. So short term weekly content, per usual, will stay the same. So things like written articles, YouTube videos, things like that, will be uh, staying on schedule and things like that per usual. Um, but our monthly content will be making a huge. I don't want to say comeback because it never really left, but we'll be bringing back a couple of segments like the monthly workshop Wednesday, the breakdown, things like that. So expect all of our playlists, all of our YouTube segments, and a lot of our stuff like that to be fully updated. Because you guys know that our weekly content pretty much stays the same. We have a couple new drops here there that are something that we're working towards, but you know, a lot of the major pieces that we have to get out are kind of ahead of that. So I'm trying to finish up In Case You Missed It monthly. A couple of articles. We need to get our new graphical rebrand kind of pushed out, and then yeah, there'll be a couple things that we kind of align for the end of the year. And Cyberfest 2 is also still on the table. And along with our Patreon, kind of sitting and waiting for us to kind of use that and really come up with some decent content for our Patreons, and of course for the rest of the community as well. But yeah, lots of really major things on the table before 2024, along with a lot of really cool events. You know, Music Mondays is definitely sponsoring the majority of these upcoming events, so definitely follow us on socials for more official announcements. But going into the end of October, into November, into December, we're gonna have a lot of really insane pieces of content to get out to you guys. But of course, expect the written content, expect the YouTube content, and expect the monthly content to stay the same. And we're working hard. We're working hard. We really want to close out the end of the year strong, so really making sure a lot of the loose ends are tied up, and a lot of the stuff that we have to finish up before 2024 gets done. So very important. But without further ado, that is pretty much your weekly recap for this week of October. And of course, definitely follow us on socials to stay posted with all of our latest updates and things like that, because we have a lot coming. A lot. So over the course of this week, you'll see a lot of stuff kind of flood its way out, and we'll be talking more about 2024 into the new year relatively soon. So that's that, my friends. That's your weekly recap. So let's talk, because there was something here that I think is totally worth talking about that I actually thought about today. Because there's a couple things in terms of discussion segments and things like that that I really want to discuss with the majority of the community before the end of the year. So we'll be having a few more discussion segments here on the show relatively soon. I have a decent amount of topics I want to get over. I want to do a Music Mondays YouTube tour. We went over the feature one. I want to talk about distribution platforms. I want to talk about grinding one more time. We'll talk about copyright as well. So there's a couple of subjects that I have on the back burner that I really want to get done for the community and for the channel. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. And of course, sidebar as well. We're going to be going into 2024 with a lot of team content around Music Mondays, and a lot of the newer pieces that we were talking about really being fleshed out. So again, just keep your eyes peeled, and everything's coming at you slowly but surely. But again, we are the most. I mean, like, there's so much shit I want to get done, but like I take a step back and I look at it like nobody's putting out as much content as Music Mondays on a daily and weekly basis. Never mind a monthly basis. So like in due time everything will work. But huge shout out to all you guys that are supporting Music Mondays on our journey, and huge shout out to all you guys actually submitting and things like that, because none of this works without you guys. So thank you, thank you, thank you. But our discussion segment for episode 143. Let's talk about it. So what we're going to be talking about is relatively simple, but kind of not really. So we're going to be talking about how to finish out the end of the year, how to finish out the year strong, how to finish out 2023 strong. So with it being the middle of October and we only have 2 full months left of 2023, I figured it would be a good time to talk about how to wrap up the end of the year as a creative, as an artist, as a writer, as an independent artist, things like that. Whatever you do, this definitely applies to you. So, you could look at the end of 2023 in January of 2024 in two ways, right? You could look at it as like, okay, um, I could either A, go really hard and get a bunch of stuff out before the end of the year, right? And I can really prep for 2024 in the short term, but I can really go guns blazing for the end of the year and put out everything else that I didn't want to put out. Um, so that's one side of it. You could go super hard and put out a bunch of content, right, to just end the year with a bang. Or you could take November into December, especially if you're kind of a holiday person. You know, you're spending time with family, you're spending time with friends, kids, things like that. You could also take the end of the year to just relax and recoup. As much as of a grinder as I am, and as much as I am a fan of hustle culture, um, I also highly respect mental health and physical health, of course, right behind that. But when it comes to your mental, sometimes full 365 years are pretty rough, pretty fucking rough, and sometimes major life things happen that kind of like catch you off guard, and you're like, oh my god, da 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 da, this that and the third, and you just need time to recoup. You just need time to take off. You just need time to relax. You just need time to kind of take for yourself, and you're just like, okay, what the fuck, like how am I supposed to just go right into 2024 guns blazing? You don't have to. You kind of just finish up your content for 2023 and take the rest of the year off. So there's two angles to that, and whichever you feel most comfortable with is the one that I would advise going with, right? So if you want to go like super hard for the rest of the year and you want to get out the rest of your content, you want to kind of get ahead of your content for 2024, I think that's a great idea. But if you want to kind of rest and recoup, take some time to, get some work done, R&R, kind of plan next year, I think that's great too. I don't think either way um, is a real bad thing, especially when it comes to um, like the pressure of like a new year, and you're just like, oh my god, I gotta get ready, New Year's resolution, everybody starts talking about what they did over the last year, and you start looking at what you did. Like, don't let any of that pressure kind of take away from the fact that you're still gonna be able to make a choice. You know what I mean? Like, you can still kind of go either way with it, and you don't necessarily need to um grind the rest of the year out as if it's January. Or if you want to, you definitely can. I don't see a problem with that either. Because I think it's very smart to kind of get ahead of a lot of things, and kind of be like, okay, um, how am I going to go into next year? But if you need some time off, I think that's just as beneficial for you, especially going into the next year where you're going to go super hard in 2024. It's totally worth it for you to take a vacation, kick back, take a month off, take 3, 4 weeks off, do whatever you got to do as a human being to like get right and get ready for another really good year of grinding. You know what I mean? A really good year of pushing yourself. So, however you wanted to kind of end the year, is really up to you. But just know what you want to do, right? Don't panic so much about it that you don't end up doing anything, right? Where you don't end up relaxing and you don't end up fucking getting work done. So it's just like don't do that. Make a choice. Make a choice now and be like, okay, like how do I want to kind of structure the end of the year? How do I want to um go into 2024? A lot of the things are very important to think about, and I think everybody should be thinking about them either way. You know what I mean? Like even if you want to take a vacation, or you're like, you know, you want to get that one last EP out, or you want to do a couple music videos, or you want to do X, Y, or Z. Like I think that's not a problem at all, and I think that's very, very important, very, very, very fucking important. So that'll definitely be uploaded on the channel. Definitely let me know what you think about that. Let us know what you're doing for the end of the year. Let us know if you're going into 2024 with some crazy plans. Let us know if you're taking 2023 and the rest of the year pretty lightly. And of course, follow, subscribe, like the video if you like what you see. You know the motherfucking drill. Let's get it, baby. So, we are well underway into episode 143, chat. So let's pop open some submissions, yeah, and see what we got for this Monday's episode. So let's get into it. You guys know the drill, but for all of you audio listeners out there, I'm about to run it down for you. So submissions look the same every single week. They'll always be in the same formats, and of course, we'll let you guys know if anything changes. But the submission tweet will always read: Artists and creatives submissions are open for live reviews on Music Mondays, live on October 16th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/ZomPlays, which is here and now. If you'd like to submit your music, artwork, fashion, or digital creation, drop your links and portfolios below. All art forms are welcome. 4-hour show limit, must be following Music Mondays on Twitter to be eligible. Patreon subscribers, submissions played first each week. So, let's talk about it. The majority of you guys know, contrary to our name, Music Mondays, we've reacted to pretty much everything here on the show. Everything from music, instrumentals, vocals, covers, music videos, visuals, lyric videos, digital art, fashion, merch, YouTube edits, you name it, we've reacted to it here on the show. So don't feel like you can't submit anything, or you're like, oh my god, does this count as a submission? For the most part, we don't shy away from any submissions, because of course the majority of the underground are multi-talented individuals. A lot of people have multiple talents, right? So we wanted to shine light on all of that, and of course give other people a chance to submit other bodies of work. But of course we also are specialists in music as well, so feel free to submit music. And of course, for our show limit, usually the show runs about 4 hours even. That's also in place just because we are a weekly show. So that just makes it a little bit more palatable to watch back. That makes it a little bit more enticing to watch in its entirety, rather than like a 5, 6, 7, 8 hour show. Especially, again, we are a weekly live show. It'd be a different story if we were like a recorded show or things like that, but we are a weekly live show. So a 4-hour show limit kind of made sense to the majority of us, and we were like, yeah, that's probably a bit better for everyone around, for sure. So 4-hour show limit, and of course you must be following Music Mondays on Twitter to be eligible. For a couple of reasons, of course, to not only help grow our platform and help spread our message, but it gains you access to a wide range of creatives. And of course, it pays respect to everybody else that submits every week and waits for their submissions to be played first. So that's the only thing that we do ask, because again, submissions are always free. They always have been. They always will be. So that's the only thing that we do ask. And of course, with the 4-hour show limits, some episodes we might not be able to get through every single one of our submissions. But if you'd like your submission to be guaranteed to be played here on Music Mondays, feel free to go pledge to our Patreon and get access to the Music Mondays Fast Pass and a whole lot of other goodies. But the main attraction over there is the Music Mondays Fast Pass. So if the Music Mondays Fast Pass is something that's interested you, definitely go check that out, and feel free to go check out our YouTube channel, because I have a really good video breaking down all of our Patreon rewards and eligibilities and things like that. But again, the Music Mondays Fast Pass grants you access to have your submissions played first each week on the show for the whole duration that you're pledged to our Patreon. So again, for example, if you pledge today for the next 30 days and for the next 4 weeks, you'll be able to have your submissions played first each week here on the show. So again, that plus a whole lot of other really cool goodies are available on the channel. So definitely go check out our Patreon, our YouTube, and go show all those some love. That's about it. The only other thing that I got to let you guys know about is submissions closing. So submissions close a little while before the show starts. Usually if you see us live, submissions are closed. Again, we are a live show, so we like to get a little bit of a head count just to see what we're dealing with. And of course, at the same time, you know, we don't want somebody to kind of come in mid-show and we're like, yeah, dude, come on and submit. And he drops a track and then he gets in front of this guy who's been like waiting for like a whole week and da-da-da-da. So again, you guys have roughly about 7 days to be able to submit your tracks, which again, obviously is plenty of time. So if you're ever interested, feel free to drop your submissions, check the date, and you'll be good to go. But again, submissions close about an hour to an hour and a half before the show starts. Very important. But outside of that, that's about everything you need to know for the Music Mondays podcast, my friends. Of course, if you have any other questions, you want to know any more details, feel free to drop us a comment. Feel free to send us a message, anything like that. We'll be happy to break it down further. So, you guys know the drill. Let's go with our Patreons first, and then we're going to hop into the rest of the community submissions. So, let's see. We have the homie Blank Thought. We have TDG. That's 2 Patrons. We got Jordan Andrew. That's 3 Patrons. And we have... Yeah, so we have 3 Patreons tonight, and then we'll be able to hop into the rest of the community's submissions. So, let's get into it, my friends. Up first is the homie Blank Thought. Now, Blank Thought sent us a really insane track last week. Something that I really loved for not only the musical standpoint of it, but it was a really good theme, and it was something that I really like to break down. So, for those of you who don't know, Blank Thought, a very talented hip-hop producer and a writer for Music Money's staff team, submitted I assume a brand new track. I can't even read the link. Let's see what we got here. Sorry, the track or album is not available. Nice. I wonder if Blank Thought wanted us to play the other track. I feel like it was the other track on that EP. We need the link to that EP. Let me see if I can find that. Let's see. No, we're close. It was relatively new. Forget the name of it. The submission tweet's probably on the on last week's submissions. It's got to be. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Right here. Bam. So there was 2 tracks on this, and I feel like Blank Thought wanted us to listen to the other track just because it was Bandcamp. But if this is the wrong track, Blank Thought can just resubmit next week with the proper track. But that one could have been deleted or things like that. But last week we reacted to the Renaissance, and now this week we're gonna react to You Already Know by the homie Sko, produced by Blank Thoughts. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Let's tweet the stream.
Just an introduction. Yeah, check it. Let them try to figure out, man, what's up with this kid who sends money to flint, but then I'll bloody your lip. Fucking with this is getting fucked with a fist. Up to the wrist of the second arm, you just got bodied, now you don't fucking exist. I'm grimy as a bucket of piss, vomiting shit, tipped over. It's the piff holder with a chipped shoulder. I play my cards, they show their pussy like strip poker. Funny how I get nicer the rest, just get older. Silver fox in his beard, golden era in his veins. Precious metals every bar, they offer pennies for his pain. What a conundrum when he does what doesn't fund him. But it's super fun sight if you're biting. Fuck a function, I reject every scene, every click, every crew. Off the rip, it's not a diss, there's just fuel that's in tone. And out of them, even fewer move how I move. It's just my view, and today it's just my move. Fuck them all, fuck them slow if they don't fuck with Sko. Yeah, say it again. Fuck them all, fuck them slow if they don't fuck with Sko. Yeah,
It's a real, like, evil beat.
Fuck them all, fuck them slow if they don't fuck with Sko. Sorry I lied. Fuck them all, fuck them slow if they don't fuck with Sko. Yeah, you already know. Guaranteed that Sko flow retro from the kicks to the snares. If I'm there, there's some petrol mist in the air. Let's go get a lick. Tell your bow-legged chick when I flow, better keep the candles lit like it's prayer. Kneel before Zod, the complex messiah's on fire. I never talk to puppets, I spied, they're all wired. Everybody claims solid till you miss one deposit. Watch me switch the style up like it's 3-car Molly. Fuck that 3-car pile up. I swerve in the drop. Got my shit so tight, my circle's a dot. While you work through the plot, I'm on to the next. No one hates what happens when you're on people's necks, yeah. Even when I'm on, I'm pressed. That's why shit's never off. Even loss is a bless. I'm just evolved. See, I lived through wars. They come home to a wifey that'll kiss new scars. I don't really
Damn,
care if
what?
I piss who off. Fuck every A&R. They could kiss 2 balls every deuces. Dude rips 2 new songs. If they don't fuck with that, take a guess what's my response. Fuck them all, fuck them slow if they don't fuck with Sko. Yeah, say it again. Fuck them all, fuck them slow if they don't fuck with Sko.
The writing on this one was really crazy.
One more time. Fuck them all, fuck them slow if they don't fuck with Sko. Sorry I lied. Fuck them all, fuck them slow if they don't fuck with Sko. Yeah, you already know.
Bitch. Well done. That shit was fucking crazy. That was all about writing right there for sure. Like the instrumental was like such a foreground in this, but I feel like the instrumental played like a major part as well. So very, very important topics here. But with that said, let's break this one down. So, we're gonna talk about 3 things here, my friends. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of You Already Know. Let's talk instrumental. So, when it comes to the instrumental, I believe both of these were Prod Blank Thought, right? Powered by the Beats of Blank Thought. Okay, just had to double check before I went in on this. So, Prod Blank Thought, but the mix is great. Kind of has that like level usual Blank Thought sound that we're used to. It's nothing super like too particular or like overbearing. There's nothing clashing. Has this like a nice tight level sound to it. And again, most of you guys know that Blank Thought has a real clean mix. But for those of you that don't, you always got to point it out. Definitely something to always mention for sure. But the instrumental mix is great. Instrumental Shining Star is kind of interesting because like at first listen, you know, it's kind of like, okay, this is definitely a very like memorable melody and sound selection, but the drums are right up there with like, you know, really making a difference and really kind of being a standout point in this track. So I would definitely say probably the melody, just because it left this kind of like evil, uh not like demonic, but it was very like evil, sinister kind of feel to it. And then with Sko kind of really like touching base with writing and bars, it was like wow, it was a real interesting combo. So the melody definitely kind of pulled away from everything else in my opinion. So um melody definitely the shining star 100%. Drums are a close second. Let's talk vocals. So last week we heard Sko sound relatively the same, and this week we have a pretty much the same sound in terms of a vocal mix. So obviously no complaints at all. Nothing clashed, overbearing. Both the tracks on Deuces 3 sound relatively the same. Um, so again, that just goes back to Blank Thought kind of having a really consistent mix, and something we always talk about, but that's something we always got to mention is the fact that Blank Thought actually has like a way out of this way like consistent mix when it comes to instrumentals and vocals. So always a good thing. Always a good thing. The vocal mix is great. Sko always sounds really really clean. But the vocal shining star. So I think flow is something that is really got to be talked about here. Like the flow and cadence and the overall delivery was really solid. But I think long term and something that you'd go back to this track for is the writing, right? The bars, the punchlines, the the kind of attitude and aggressiveness that Sko has on here. With how like believable it is as well. I think that's a very important part of this is like how down to earth and like very normal and believable Sko sounds in this. So like flow and cadence are definitely like first thought, but writing definitely is the thing that just has the most longevity and really stuck out to me like why I would go back to listen to it. Definitely the writing for sure. Um so yeah, writing's definitely shining star there, absolutely. So melody, instrumental shining star, writing, vocal shining star. Let's talk theme. So again, we spoke a little bit about this cover last week in terms of the Renaissance and why themes like this kind of work, right? Which actually I think that was a really good segment to talk about. I think that should be on the channel, but maybe we'll break that down into like greater detail soon. But Deuces 1, 2, and 3 are some of my favorite like series of projects that I've just kind of glanced on and kind of got introduced um like last week. So it was one of those things that I was like, wow, this is actually like really well put together. Um but aesthetics, great. I mean, the Renaissance, the black and white, the kind of like industrial gray, black, color palette, no brainer. You know what I mean? No brainer. And the fact that it's like super high quality, I like it a lot. I like it a lot, 100%. 100%. And I broke it down a little bit more last week, so definitely go check that out if you missed that. But the overall theme, I think with the Renaissance and very much greater Deuces in general, like the concept, like some of the early ones, right? Like Deuces 1 definitely has like a more of like a backstory because this is like more of like love songs, and then Deuces 2 is slightly different here. We have um yeah, see this one's a little bit more like psychological and kind of like self-reflective. And then Deuces 3 kind of lets like the mind kind of wander. Um one that's like okay, like you kind of get what you get from this, but it's also a lyrical showcase of Sko and kind of almost like it listening to the whole EP now, right? I mean, we reacted to track 1 last week and then, we're on track 2 now. So it's like listening to it and thinking about it as a whole, This is definitely a lyrical showcase and somebody that had a lot to get out that wasn't necessarily like about one subject. It was definitely somebody that was able to like break down multiple themes across a couple of instrumentals and really kind of let their lyricism flow rather than kind of like stick to one theme. Because again, I don't think either way is right or wrong. I think it's just a matter of preference and how you're feeling at the time. So Sko definitely took the writing to like a whole new level and the lyricism to a whole new level for sure. So huge shout out to Sko and Blank Thought. Make sure you follow Sko on Bandcamp, and of course make sure you follow Blank Thought on Twitter. Blank Thought's approaching 1.2. Blank Thought's very close, man. 1.2, like on the way. So go show Blank Thought some love on the Bird app, and of course every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload, my friends. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 220 subscribers, man. We are literally 5 away. I think we're at 215. So if you haven't showed us some love on the channel, definitely go check out the channel and subscribe if you haven't already, and you like what you see. You know what I'm saying? So, up next in our second Patreon of the night, the homie TDG. Now, TDG didn't submit last week, so this week I'm definitely excited to see what TDG has going on in the background. A very talented alternative hip-hop artist, producer, vocalist, submitted a track titled The Return, prod and performed by me, mixed and mastered and art by Cole Gerard. Bitch, I'm back. Bitch, I'm back. Let's see what we got here. I'm down. I'm down, TDG. I am down. Let's see here. Prod performed by me, mixed and mastered and art by Cole Gerard. Okay. Let's get into it then. I'm down. Let's see what we got. TDG, The Return. Let's go.
Not now, Mr. McLean. Some other time.
Bitch, I'm back. Yeah, they don't like that. Yo, relax. Got it in the bag, it like that. Let's kick back, sparking like that. Tell the demons I fight back. I go where the light at. Bitch, I'm smooth. I hit it with the groove. I make it do what it do. I don't think I have to prove to you. Bitch, I'm back. Here's my swag. Where's your swag? Oh, now you mad, huh? Too damn bad, huh? Too damn bad, huh? Yo, chill. It's my set. What's the deal? Who's upset? Yeah, wait. Who's up next? Oh, it's me. Mama said they will notice me overseas. I chose to see. Now can't close, you see. Yeah, I don't wanna know it all. Can't see over, not that tall. I hope they call. I hope I don't fall. What is wrong? It's so hard. I am gone. I'm so far. Hide it in my songs. I hope y'all catch on. Sum this up. I must toughen up. Roughen up. Buckle up. Quit the dummy stuff. No more double cups. And not waking up. Damn, what the fuck? I feel like a punk at Trump. I need to grow up. Make me sick. I'ma throw up. Come back, Mac. It's time to show up. Turn around and go up. Leave the ground and float up. Hey. Whoa, yeah. Stargaze, I go to far places. I see new faces. This shit is amazing. Yeah, the fire blazing, figuring out mazes. Made a placement, got out the basement. Wasn't patient, but still made it. Whoa. Bitch, I'm back. Yeah, they don't like that. Yo, relax. Got it in the bag, it like that. Let's kick back, sparking like that. Tell the demons I fight back. I go where the light at.
Okay. I see you, TDG. I see you. Let's break this one down here. Let's talk about it. So, we're gonna talk about 3 things here. We'll talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of The Return. So, let's talk instrumental. So, it makes it solid. Kind of a really like tight level normal mix for somebody like TDG. Not really a shocker, but something you always want to point out. Sound selection was good. Drums were good. Mells were good. Yeah, no real like gripes or anything like that with the instrumental. I definitely think the instrumental was like very much spot on. In terms of the mix. Instrumental shining star. Um. So I feel like the drums were solid, right? But the thing is like between the vocals and the drums, I feel like the melody could have gotten swept under the rug if you weren't paying attention. So that's why I feel like the melody was definitely the shining star here, just because um it was so like under everything, but it was very much like subtle. And I feel like like if you absorbed it in the song, you're like, oh, okay. So like the melody kind of like played like a nice background part here, and like the sound selection has a little bit to do with that as well. So definitely the melody is a shining star here. Drums are a close second though. Um, hmm. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Let's talk vocals here. So when it comes to the vocal mix, super solid. Mixed by Cole. So no gripes at all. Nothing clashed and too overbearing. Nothing that was like super out of the ordinary. TDG is definitely super level. Vocals sit nicely, instrumental. Everything cuts through nicely. Yeah, no gripes with the vocal mix at all. I would definitely say that TDG's definitely found like their one of their like more comfortable sounds, and like one of the sounds that they really kind of um settled into, and really are trying to like sharpen their sword when it comes to their vocals. So it definitely the mix that we're used to, but also a super clean mix at that. So vocal mix solid. Mm, vocal shining star. I would say writing, but I feel like flow and cadence kind of is pretty underrated here. Um, just because I feel like a song like this could really grow on you, especially if it doesn't like hit the first time, and then like you go back and listen to it and you're like, okay, like you kind of like see where TDG's going with this kind of sound, with this somewhat like alternative, like not really experimental but slightly alternative hip hop sound. I feel like TDG is definitely like really honing in on this. So um flow and cadence and delivery are really right up there, to be honest with you. Like I said, like writing, yes, but the flow and cadence and the delivery on this was definitely like confident TDG. Definitely. Definitely. So like I said, instrumental solid, definitely the melody, vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery, the stock theme. So aesthetics. The Return. Now, this for a track titled The Return is actually kind of slick, I'm not gonna lie. Just because it's like, you know, the prodigal son, the rising sun, the kind of like, like in the morning, kind of like coming home kind of feeling to it. And then especially with like the birds in the top right, I feel like this was like a nice subtle way of like bringing it back for sure. But also kind of like brightens up like the track itself. Like even the cover like alone is like okay, like like you kind of see like where it's headed towards. So super solid cover, absolutely. Um Aesthetics on point. Overall theme, The Return. So there are some subtle like bars and hints here that TDG was coming back for like a return, or felt like they took like a little break, or they just felt like they were really wanting to like come back with like a kind of like a special track. So this definitely gave that feel to it, and I don't think like the whole track in its entirety needed to be about like the return and coming back and things like that. I feel like this track in particular was very like very much um not only like a showcase of lyricism, but also a way of TDG coming back to say like I leveled up, get ready for some new shit. This is the first of many. So like yeah, absolutely. This is definitely one of those that's like a premier return track, but I think TDG did it the right way for sure. Huge shout out to TDG for that submission. Make sure you follow TDG on SoundCloud. They are 9 follows away from 990. And of course, make sure you follow TDG on Twitter. They're approaching 200 followers, man. 5 followers away from 200. Let's go, TDG. Let's fucking get it. Only 5 away. Go show TDG some love on the bird, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 220 subscribers on the main channel, my friends. We are working towards the big 300. So definitely go subscribe to the channel if you like what you see. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff's available over there on the channel. So if you like what you see, definitely go show the channel some love. So, huge shout out to all of our patrons that submitted tonight. Huge shout out to Blank Thought and TDG. But our last patron of the night, the homie, Jordan Andrew. Let's fucking get it. So, Jordan Andrews had a really, really solid 2023. Consistent singles, collabs, instrumentals, production, it's been a real solid year for Jordan Andrew. I mean, shit, a whole name change, you know what I mean? So, they submitted a track titled Demo 2, New Dead Lighters 1020. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so I'm down. I am down. Alright, let's get into it. Dead Lighters, Jordan Andrew, Demo 2. Let's go. Wait. Guitar's crazy.
I'm taking pictures and filming. The way that this feels I won't ever forget. We just keep trudging until then. I'm taking my pills just to get out my head. So I'm just like playing the villain. From Christopher Waltz in like 3-4 steps. I'm just wait for the feeling. Timing's been off, I'm just counting my breaths. Finding what's lost, looking under the bed. What would it cost me to see what I said? I see nothing wrong when I'm looking ahead. Don't know what I want, but don't want regret. I'm trying to explain how it got to this point. Never the same and I flip like a coin. Really to blame for how this is going. I'm playing no games, it's just so annoying.
Bloodhound dogs like Kenny said. Shit, we made the beat like we're Texas Red. Riding around the street in my Mazda. Never had a bag, maybe slacks and a dinner set. All we wanna do is make music. Fuck you up if you think to confuse it. Cut up, dumb luck, now you're stupid. We dug up our powers and now we just use it. Me and Jordan slaying beasts like it's Doom out. Boom, pow, now you gotta fucking move now. Dropping EPs, getting easy like on our feet. Feeling nice, so clean, gotta get this complete. I never sleep, I just do it. To sit is just useless nuisance. What do you think is important? Create or just wait for the forces?
I'd like to think that we're ready. The weight of our words a ton heavy. Did lighters burn it down, leave the whole place a mess. I'll stop it now if you let me.
I like that longer outro a lot. Like, that longer outro was, like, really fucking solid. So, let's break this one down, my friends. We're talking about 3 things here. We're talking about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Demo 2. So, let's talk. Let's talk instrumental, man, because this is a fantastic, fantastic instrumental. Let's talk mix. So, when it comes down to the mix, oh man. So, Um, this is probably one of the cleaner instrumental mixes that I've seen from Deadlighters and Jordan. Um, not for any particular reason. I just feel like they hit a really good sweet spot. I don't think there was anything that like ultimately stuck out to me. I just like the loudness of it, the levels, everything was like really on point. For these like specific sounds and like how the vocals sat. But I feel like this one got like a really stellar mix. Um, but that's really not like a new thing for Jordan. Jordan's always had a relatively solid mix when it comes to locking down a lot of their latest tracks anyway. So mix is definitely solid, but the instrumental Shining Star, man, I don't know. There's a lot I like about this. There's a lot. Everything from the guitar, the melody, the um the drums, the structure. There was a couple things that I was kind of like, oh man, that bangs. Um, I like the drums a lot though. I feel like the drums really, really fucking stuck out here. I don't know why, but I just feel like the drums like kind of went above and beyond. Um, but the guitar and like the melody was like insane, and like the outro, uh, like the structure in the outro was like amazing. So, mm, kind of hard for me to pick one. So probably the guitar. I really like this guitar for some reason. Um, definitely kind of stuck out to me and made this very like memorable, if you will. So definitely the guitar for sure. Um, let's talk vocals. So we have both Anthony Floyd and Jordan Andrew on here with a couple verses. So let me start off by saying the mix is great. Nothing clashing to overbearing. I definitely like this mix a lot. Super solid. Nothing like crazy out of the ordinary, but everything nice and level. Um, both vocals sit nice in the instrumental. Everything cuts through nicely. No gripes with the vocal mix at all. Nothing sounds like overly processed or under processed. Really well done. Really, really well done as far as the mix goes. Um, I feel like this is the most mature that Deadlighters has sounded on a track in a quite some time. I don't want to say a very long time because we've only been limited to like certain things here on the show. Um, but this is a really underrated duo. This is a really, really underrated duo. So Anthony has this more like grittier kind of style, and Jordan has this bit more like softer, poetic style, but also can be very gritty. That's why I feel like they like mix really well. Is like, you know, what Anthony doesn't do mixes well with what Jordan does, and what Jordan doesn't do mixes well with what Anthony does. So it's a very like give and take kind of relationship musically. And I feel like these two are like at their really best right now because this is 12 days old, so it's like this is like peak Dead Lighters for me. Um so I want to pick something across the board. I like both of their verses when it comes to flows and cadences, but the writing like all across the board was fantastic. The transition from Jordan to Anthony, Anthony's writing, Jordan's poetic flow, Anthony's kind of like gritty, muddy, almost like a little bit of like a darker tone almost. Like I feel like Anthony and Jordan have a really solid fucking dynamic. So writing all day. Writing all day. I feel like they both killed it without a doubt. So instrumental solid, definitely the guitar. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Flow and cadence for both is still a close second. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics. Michael back at it again. So these kind of like mannequin stick figure esque kind of designs are really starting to like stick out to me. They're really starting to um like I don't think I could see another one of these and not think of Michael art. You know what I mean? Like so this is definitely such an iconic design, but this kind of has like a more sketch art kind of like preview feel, which I feel like nails this track perfectly because this is called demo too. So it's like okay, like this is also like a demo kind of aesthetic as well. So I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand if I'm being honest with you. Um, So aesthetics on point. Demo 2 overall theme. This could definitely be a working title. I mean, obviously it's a working title, but this could be something that they kind of wanted to think about together and really think about naming and think about, themes and how they wanted to like structure this out, right? Because I feel like they were both talking about leveling up, but also like being 10 toes and really kind of like doubling down on where they're at right now. So I feel like it was a very like standout kind of song, and the description says from the Blistering Sun Bandwidth Project. So this whole project's got to come out soon, man, because we need a whole lot of breakdowns on this. We need names, we need cover art, we need it all. But this is a pleasure. This is a fucking pleasure. Huge shout out to Deadlighters and Jordan Andrew, man. Make sure you follow Deadlighters on SoundCloud. They're 2 follows away from 10, man. Go show them some love over there on the cloud. And of course, make sure you follow Jordan Andrew on Twitter. They are quite literally 6 follows away from 650. Go show them some love on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 220 subscribers on the main channel. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff available there on the main channel, my friends. So make sure you go show these artists in the main channel some love, man. We're like 5 subs away, man. I think we're quite literally at motherfucking 215, man. 215. We are very close. So go show us some love over there. But that concludes all of our Patrons for tonight. Huge shout out to Blank Thought, TDG, and Jordan Andrew for not only being Patrons, but submitting your tracks and allowing us to view them first. So, back to community submissions of Um, right off rip, that was one of those songs that was hella fucking short. 135. I feel like if that hook came back in, that would have been the perfect way to end that for sure. But has a very like unique sound. I definitely like One Drink sound a lot. Um, so let's see. They've definitely been cranking out a lot of tracks. Um, so it looks like they've had one project and it's actually had 20 tracks. Holy fuck. That was dropped in 2021. So it's definitely not like a new artist, right? It's definitely not somebody who just kind of popped on the scene. It's definitely an artist that has been kind of perfecting their style for quite some time. So that's always something you gotta consider for sure. Wow. Okay, so One Drink's definitely been pushing the bar. Definitely. Um let's talk about Withdrawals. Because this is their latest offering here. So um let's break this one down. So we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Withdrawals. Let's talk instrumental. So instrumental mix is great, to be honest with you. Nothing clashing, too overbearing at all. Drums are great. Everything cut through nicely. Vocals sit nicely. Everything's super, super level. Nothing that kind of like jumped out at me and was like, oh my god, this fucking, you know, this is too much. Or no major gripes with the instrumental mix at all. Like I said, all the way down the sound selection, super, super fucking solid. So instrumental mix W. Instrumental choice W though for sure. It's definitely got that like modern trap sound 100%. Um Instrumental Shining Star. Um I feel like the melody is very rememberable, but at the same time the drums kind of knock hard enough for you to remember those too. And like the drum patterns themselves were very like on point for what this instrumental kind of needed. So I'm probably gonna say the drums, but the melody's like a close second, man. The melody's like a very, very close second. So drums are the instrumental Shining Star. Let's talk vocals here. So uh vocal mix is solid. Nothing clashing too overbearing. Like I said, vocals sit nicely, instrumental, everything cuts through nicely. Nothing that I really noticed that was like overly overly mixed, but it wasn't raw either. It was definitely like a very like finely processed track, and it wasn't like overly processed either. So it was like a really solid balance for somebody like One Drink for sure. Um, Especially for like their cadence on this track. Like I feel like the mix was like as like solid as you wanted it. Definitely. Like a nice middle ground. So a vocal mix solid. Let's talk um vocal Shining Star. Um I like I like the flow and cadence. I like the flow and cadence a lot. But the writing is what sold me, especially like halfway through the song. Like on your first listen, especially if it's an artist that you've never like really dove into, right? On your first listen, you're gonna be like dissecting the lyrics. You're gonna be like, okay, like, is this motherfucker spitting? What's he talking about? What's the song mean? Yada yada yada, right? But for me, that's where I was kind of like, oh wow, like this is um like there was a couple lines about like dead friends, and there was like a whole lot of like it was a very like fine balance between like pain and um a lot of like raw feelings as well. Like pain and raw feelings was definitely like very much center stage topic here, but also much like the bio mentioned for One Drink, it was very much easy to tell that One Drink was like very serious and very much like passionate about what they're speaking about. So definitely writing for me, absolutely. Um, so Instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Flow and cadence was a really good shout for seconds. But let's talk theme, my friends. Let's talk theme. So, first up is aesthetics. Let's talk aesthetics. So, I definitely think this is like the most minimalist you could have probably went with this cover, to be honest with you. Because like for a song called Withdrawals, like you would think that like it would be very much like a um either like somewhat darker or somewhat like relatable to what One Drink was really speaking on here, but I feel like this is very much a cover that you could have used for almost any track and it probably would have worked. You know what I mean? So like simple but effective for sure, but for a song like Withdrawals, I definitely would have liked to see like a little bit more of like an aesthetic push. You know what I mean? Absolutely. But aesthetics on point, overall theme Withdrawals. I mean, so it's not really like the sad approach of withdrawing, right? Like it's not like a very like miserable kind of track. It's a very much like passionate kind of track. It's very much a track that's like, okay, um here's how I'm feeling right now, but here's what's going on right now as well. So it was very much like a double-edged sword kind of feel I got from One Drink. Positives and negatives, but also kind of like self-reflecting on like how far you've come with certain things, especially with subjects like drugs and withdrawing and drinking and partying and shit like that. So it was very much a fine line that One Drink was writing, but I feel like most people could get behind this, especially if A, they relate to it lyrically, or B, they're like, okay, like the sonic part of this is really like resonating with me for sure. So well done. Well done, my friend. Huge shout out to One Drink Before Rehab. Go show them some love on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow One Drink on Twitter. They are approaching 260, literally 5 away. So go show them some love on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. So, per usual, make sure you go check out the Music Mondays channel. We are 5 Subarunis away from 220, my friends. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff's available over there on the Music Mondays channel. So, go show these artists some love. Go show the channel some love. You guys know the motherfucking drill. Let's get it, baby. So, up next, we got the homie Lavaries. It's been some time since we've heard from Lavaries, I'm not gonna lie. Lavaries has been on their content grind, right? TikTok, things like that. But it's been about a month or so since we've heard from Lavaries. So I'm definitely really excited to see what they're up to. They submitted a track titled "Wasting My Time." Now, for those of you that don't know, Lavaries is a talented hip hop artist, and I'm definitely excited to see where they've been at. So let's see what we got. Pop this open a new tab. Let's see. Now I believe this made SoundCloud Sunday this past weekend. So definitely go check out SoundCloud Sunday if you missed that as well. So let's get into it, man. Lavaries, wasting my time. Let's go.
Stay around, been wasting my time. Look, give me back my clocks. Well, I done hit your bitch, I don't need her no more. You can have her back, bro. Yo, bitch, and I threw her in the trash like, damn, this really crazy. Hit my phone, say she love me, goddamn, think she wanna have my baby. I ain't got no time for you guys, do for my own self.
Wait a minute. Is this really like a fucking... Oh, so there's explicit and non-explicit? Lavaries out here putting out radio versions and shit? Okay, let's run this back. Explicit version incoming. This will be sick. This drop's really solid too.
You stay around, been wasting my time. Little bitch, give me back my clocks. Ho, I done hit your bitch, I don't need her no more. You can have her back, bro. Fuck your bitch, then I threw her in the trash. Like, damn, this bitch really crazy. Hit my phone, say she love me. Goddamn, think she wanna have my baby. I ain't got no time for you guys, she do for my own self. H-Bitch think she calling me, but she hitting my old self. She don't get my new shit, cause I've been trying to cut her off. Hit a friend with no rubber, yeah, you know I hit her off. I don't give a fuck about a bitch, and you know I never will again. She took my heart out my chest when she left. She took my will to live. How the fuck I'm supposed to live when I don't even got a heart? Chasing bands, chasing rats, mama think I'm living large. Bitch, I'm in the hills, probably fucking on a blonde whore. I do this shit every day, treat it like a fucking chore. Weed in my lungs and I'm itching for another hit.
You said you wouldn't cheat on me.
I guess I broke my promise. Picked up her best friend and then I took her to the mountains. Gave her a whole bottle of champagne and then she downed it.
LaVerys won't be famous.
Well, that bitch, I highly doubt it. Give her this good dick, make a movie, she be shouting. She said she want more, I'ma give it to her, she be like the Nick, think I'm addicted to her, can't be stuck on a bitch. She gon' be stuck on me, she a freaky little bitch. She wanna swallow seed, purple all up in my cup, but I ain't sipping lean.
What the fuck is it though?
Bitch, these her Michael leaves. Smoke a G, get high as fuck. I think I'm in the stars. They say I'm a rude dude. It's cause this life is hard. I've been hella numb since like age 9. I can't never open up, that's why I gotta lie. Drinking so much now, I can't see through my eyes. Verses almost done, so it's time for me to say goodbye. Last girl I treated right, that was the last time. Said I love you, said I hate you, really was your last line. You stay around, been wasting my time. Little bitch, give me back my clocks. Ho, I done hit your bitch, I don't need her no more. You can have her back, bro. Fuck your bitch, then I threw her in the trash. Like, damn, this bitch really crazy. Hit my phone, say she love me. Goddamn, think she wanna have my babies. I ain't got no time for you guys, she do for my own self. H-Bitch think she calling me, but she hitting my old self. She don't get my new shit, cause I've been trying to cut her off. Hit a friend with no rubber, yeah, you know I hit her off. I don't give a fuck about a bitch, and you know I never will again. She took my heart out my chest when she left. She took my will to live.
Okay. Wow. All right, so LaVerys definitely leveled up, like over the course of the last couple weeks for sure. So let's break this down. Let's talk about it, my friends. So we're gonna talk about three things here. We're talking about the instrumental, we're talking about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Wasting My Time. So, let's talk instrumental, because this instrumental was not only a really solid choice, but I really liked this instrumental in terms of sound and mix and sound selection and things like that. So, let's talk instrumental mix. Instrumental mix is great, especially the 808. The 808 is fucking, like, it has like the most perfect amount of mud, but it knocks as well. So whoever did these drums, man, did a really fucking good job. I really like these drums a lot. But yeah, the mix very fucking solid. Nothing clashing to overbearing. Vocals sit nice. Nothing that like ultimately was kind of off to me at all. I definitely think this was perfect, especially all the way down to the melody. So the mix is definitely like right up there, absolutely on point. But the instrumental Shining Star is a little bit hard because I love this melody, but the drums, man, the drums were just like holy shit. I want to say the melody, but the drums are like right there, bro. And the way this song kicks off, it's got to be the drums, man. The drums are just like, I don't know, they're just like sheesh, like absolutely the drums, absolutely the drums. Down to sound selection, down to pattern, but the 808 is kind of like what like really sold me. So definitely the drums for sure. Let's talk vocals here. So Vocal mix is great. Kind of the same Laveri's mix that we're used to. Not too raw, but not like overly processed. Nothing that like ultimately stuck out that was like, really out of the ordinary or out of place. Definitely a solid, normal, leveled out, nice and tight vocal mix for sure. Everything sits well, nothing clashing too overbearing. So vocal mix is very regular for Laveri's, but definitely always want to point that out for sure. Vocal shining star. I kind of want to say hook or writing. Flow and cadence is definitely up there, but I feel like the hook or the writing was definitely like okay. Kind of took it to like a different level for me. It was very much like a storytelling track, but also like a very much like redemption kind of feel. So probably writing. Probably writing overall, just because the hook would technically fall into that. So yeah, writing overall was definitely a shining star here. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Hook was a close second. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics, wasting my time. So one thing I really like about this is the whole kind of like charcoal crayon kind of effect here. Like it could pass as like a couple different things, but the aesthetics are obviously on point, right? Wasting my time, kind of have like the hourglass, broken, time wasted, things like that, right? So you kind of like fully understand where Laveri's was going with this. But very simple, but very like on point and like very well utilized nonetheless. Definitely solid cover choice. And of course you just slap the parental advisory bottom right, you're good to go. So cover's on point. Overall theme. Like I said, this is very much like a storytelling kind of track from Laveri's POV, but also kind of like a redemption kind of track. Like, Laveri speaks on kind of, coming through the mud, but also kind of being like, okay, like, I don't give a fuck that I went through all that. Like, I'm still the shit. I still can get through it. I'm still kind of going through it. You know what I mean? It's a very much like always changing energy and story with Laveri's. So that's why you get like a good combination of like storytelling mixed with like punchlines and lyricism. So this is definitely one of those tracks that like rode that fine line of like storytelling, but also had like really solid, like well thought out writing. So well done, my friends. Huge shout out to Laveri's. Thank you so much for the submission. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow Laveri's on Twitter. They're approaching 100 followers, man. They're only 4 away. Go show Laveri some love, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 220 subscribers on the main channel. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive motherfucking segments, and a whole lot of really good stuff's available there, man. So go show the channel and these artists some love. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you. So we left off with the homie Laveri's. Make sure you go show him some love. But up next, we got the homie Offspring Mysterious. Now, Offspring had a really solid 2023. YouTube uploads on uploads, like really expanding music art. Like Offspring's been going super fucking hard. So it's really cool to see their progression, definitely. But Offspring, a multi-talented producer, filmer, editor, writer, designer, quite literally so many titles. Offspring submitted Shooting Range. Let's see what we got here from the Offspring Mysterious, my friends. So, let's pop this open. Let's see what we got. It's gonna open the mini player. Okay. Bam. Let's go 720. Let's go full volume. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Let's get into it. Offspring Mysterious, Shooting Range. Let's go. Oh shit. That was a crazy fade. Hmm. Hisoka with the tier 1 for 32. Let's get it, baby. Appreciate you. Welcome back to the family, my friend. Much love. Hope you're well. Hmm. Hmm. I was clean as a bitch. Damn.
Oh, yeah. I'm just scratching the surface.
Uh. They don't call me a shooter for nothing, basketball wise. Let's get it, baby. Overall, Offspring, welcome on in. Hope you're chilling. Shit. Damn. What the fuck, dude?
I'm just scratching the surface.
Hmm. It's like, what the fuck? Okay, now that was cool. That was fucking cool. So there's a couple things we gotta talk about here. So a couple different tracks were used here. So we'll break down the actual shooting range edit here because man, like watching our third video, then congratulations, you completed the first two videos. Now we'll get to the fun part. Shooting. Every basketball player must know how to shoot. Otherwise, you'll be a Ben Simmons. No one wants to be a Ben Simmons. Now, in this video, we'll be teaching you how to shoot from mid-range and long-range. As you know, I'm a great long-range shooter. Don't believe me? Ask my wife how I got 3 kids. The lesson is a little challenging. Want to make 4 shots on a row, different spots to make all of them in a row. You have to... Ah, yeah, see? So, what's really, really cool about this is, like, the descriptions in Offspring videos have always been, like, very important and relevant to each video. But this one... and the whole concept of like home videos and like home training movies and things like that, I think Offspring really hopped on. And I think this was a really good idea. Like, it was creative, but like only Offspring would have been able to fully kind of take this concept and run with it. I feel like this is a very like rare, like interesting idea. And like only like the Walking Onslaught's universe could really like fully break this down and fully kind of take this and run with it. So I really, really like this idea. Like, I definitely feel like Offspring went above and beyond to kind of, like, put this in perspective for sure. So I really, really like this concept a lot. One thing that I'm a big, big fan of, though, and I think the shining star throughout all of Shooting Range has absolutely got to be the fact that this is so reminiscent of, like, early Offspring videos that we used to watch here on the show. Back when Offspring was, like, playing Horse and doing, like, really early, Walking Onslaught's content. This is definitely reminiscent of that, but now it has so much more substance and so much more creativity and so much more like energy to it. So I feel like Offspring, like if there's one video to really show like the level up, it's a concept like this, because Offspring really went above and beyond to kind of like put this to not only just paper but actually put it to the test, and this actually worked out. Because this was actually longer than your typical episode of music art, but it didn't feel like 8 minutes at all because Offspring was always like really like pushing the bar. Different angles, different shots, new shots, slow mo, small edits, transitions. Like so many like really, really cool things Offspring kind of leveled up with over the course of a year. And this video really shows all of them. Like it really does. But I think the concept is really cool just because it can be simple, but you can really go above and beyond with it. And I think that's what Offspring does. You know what I mean? And especially with 2 tracks used in this one, Summoning and Battle Ready. I mean, come on. And then, of course, you have all of your links here. Everything's linked down below. You guys know the motherfucking drill. So, this one, main takeaway, absolutely has to be the editing and the overall growth of Offspring and Walking Onslaughts. I definitely feel like this was a very, like, positive direction to go. In terms of, like, the smaller pieces, things where you're doing basketball content, you're doing small shooting content, you're doing a little bit of everything, but this one kind of, like, really pushes the bar for Offspring Mysterious as a creator. You know what I mean? This one kind of like goes above and beyond. So, well fucking done, my friend. And huge shout out to Offspring for the submission. Make sure you go sub to their channel, man. They're only 5 sub-roonies away from 140, so go show them some love on the tube. And of course, make sure you follow Offspring Mysterious on Twitter. They are quite literally 7 followers away from 870. Go show them some love on the Bird app. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to Music Money's YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 220 sub-roonies on the main channel, my friends. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff available there. So go show the channel and these artists some love. Thank you very much. You're very welcome, Offspring. Thank you so much for your submission, my friend. We appreciate you. Let's fucking get it, baby. Keep it up. But you guys know the drill, man. We are just about 2 hours in to the show, so you guys know what that means. We're at the halfway point. So we're going to take a little bit of a commercial break. When we return, we're going to hop right back into our community submissions. We have about 8 or 9 left. So get your drinks ready, get your snacks ready, get up, go to the bathroom, go take a bathroom break. You go do whatever you got to do. It is. You know what I mean? And Music Mondays episode 143 will return with more submissions. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live with the Music Mondays podcast, episode 143. How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? L-Tube? Yeah, no, definitely, Tarek. I agree. Really gonna start pushing ads on me now, too. Like, man, please don't. Please don't. But yeah, I hope you're well. Happy Monday. Let's get it, baby. Yep. Let's continue on. Alrighty, so we left off with the homie Offspring Mysterious, and we're gonna continue on with the homie Lil Wet Wet. So let's see here. So Wet Wet's actually been on a tear in 2023. Major moves across states, videos, so many singles, collabs, amongst other things. So this week they submitted a brand new track, actually. I'm very curious on this one. Let's see what we got here. So for those of you who don't know, Lil Wet Wet, a very, very talented alternative artist. A Lil Wet Wet version. A Lil Wet Wet demo for... Oh, so this is like an unreleased kind of... Okay. I see what's going on here. Alright, let's get into some new Lil Wet Wet. I'm down. I like the outro a lot. Really, really solid outro. Okay. And then we have the album version here. So it's Lil Wet Wet. Yeah. So, Lil Wet Wet, they go by Lil Wet Wet as their artist name, and then Patterns as their director name. Wow, okay. So I kind of want to listen to the other version, but we need to break this down. This is definitely crazy for sure. Okay, so let's talk about this, because this is kind of a rare case where it's like, this isn't like it's not like a remix, but it's not a remix, right? This is, again, pretty much what it says, a demo. So whatever was used in the final cut definitely wasn't this, because otherwise Patterns wouldn't be uploading it. So, let's break it down. I assume it's Prod, the artist that it was supposed to be for, because yeah. This is actually a really, really insane track. So let's break this down. We're gonna talk about three things. We're talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Deceit. So, let's talk instrumental, because this is a fucking epic instrumental. Like, and like, I don't use the word epic a lot, but this is like a very like theatrical, emotional, like it's very, very loud and in your face. Not like loud like sound wise, it just has a lot of energy. And not really a shocker that Lil Wet Wet was able to kind of slide on this like they did. So that's a given, but we'll talk about that. Strictly speaking on the instrumental. Now, when we want to talk about a mix, this is a demo. So it's kind of hard to like break down the mix in like a true, like, this is the final, this is what we have, because this is obviously again a demo, but it's not what was ultimately used. So when it comes down to the mix, I don't want to critique it super hard, because again, it's kind of like a rough early version, so we got to keep that in mind. But with that said, for what it is and what we do have here, I think it's solid. You know what I mean? Nothing clashing too bad. Nothing like super like drowned out. It's not like perfect by any means, but again, a demo. So it's like, okay, like you kind of see what could have been. You know what I mean? You kind of see like where the original direction goes. And I think Wet Wet did a really good job with this instrumental. Like, because these aren't like exactly easy to work with either, right? Especially when it comes down to mixing. Because you have so many like of these monstrous sounds on here, and it's so easy to get certain things drowned out and things like that. So I do think for what it is now, I think it's really solid. Really, really solid. And I see why Wet Wet wanted to upload it on the alts. I see why. So yeah, mix is solid. Mix is definitely solid. Let's talk instrumental Shining Star. Like, there are so many really great parts of this instrumental. But I think one underrated part that I believe people could kind of sleep on is the structure. The way that this is structured out, and the way it constantly progresses, and the way that Wet Wet is able to like really kind of slide on this really speaks volumes to like the structure and like how it was laid out. So absolutely the structure for sure. Let's talk vocals here. So again, back to the vocal mix conversation, and the mix conversation in general. I don't want to harp on the mix too bad, because again, not a final, just a demo. So it's like, okay, with that said, for what this sounds like some early Wet Wet, as if like they were just figuring out their sound almost. So like this is a very like rare glimpse into like almost like a work process, or like what like Wet Wet can sound like in X, Y, or Z situations. So it's like really cool to like go and listen to something like this and really be like, okay, like, you know what I mean? Like what could have been type shit. So I think this was really cool. Really, really cool for that aspect. But Wet Wet's vocal mix itself on this track is still really solid though. Like, I don't think it drifts away from Wet Wet's particular sound. I don't think it drifts away from how they normally kind of create. You know what I mean? I don't think it's too like out of the ordinary at all. So vocal mix definitely solid. Vocal Shining Star. This one, I kind of want to say writing, but flow and cadence is definitely really underrated here. So probably writing, but flow and cadence is going to be like a close second. But listening to Wet Wet kind of visualize a lot of this, but also at the same time, like really just be so honest, but at the same time have like this like this like powerful kind of instrumental behind them. It's so crazy. It's such an interesting dynamic because the instrumental is so massive and theatrical, but Wet Wet's really like going to town with writing and really like spilling personal feelings, how they're feeling at the time, things like that. So I feel like the combination of it all like really came together here. So um definitely writing, but flow and cadence could definitely be in the conversation. Could definitely be in the conversation for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely a structure. Vocal solid. Definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. So you guys know how I feel about the IRL covers. You know what I mean? Like the IRL covers are always a safe bet, especially if you don't want to like go above and beyond for like some fucking, you know, you just don't feel like making art. You have kind of like a throwaway track, or even you just want to go with the IRL cover direction. I think this is still like a very solid, solid choice. So not even a question. W cover, absolutely. So aesthetics on point. Let's talk overall theme. So this is a very like loaded track, and I think to fully like comprehend the whole thing, you would need to listen to the original and then go back and listen to this one, right? But for what you could gather from this version, this was very much, from what I would assume, is a little bit more grittier, is a little bit more passion fueled than probably what the final is. But next week maybe we'll dive into the final, because it's like it had to have been different enough for Wet Wet to upload, which I think is really cool. I think that's really cool. So this is very much a track centered around Wet Wet's also like personal feelings, but at the same time very much you could tell they were slightly out of their element because it was for a bigger project. So I feel like artists, myself and so many others included, kind of like think outside the box when they're working with others, as opposed to like working on like a single or working on like your own project. So I feel like your approach to somebody else's work is a little bit different than what you would normally approach your work with. So tracks like these I could really talk about all day. But the other version is very crucial to this, so I'm glad Lil Wet Wet actually linked it in the description. So if you enjoy this one, definitely go check out both. But with that said, huge shout out to Lil Wet Wet. Make sure you go follow their Patterns SoundCloud, their alt SoundCloud. They're 6 follows away from 200. And of course, make sure you go follow Patterns on Twitter. They are literally 9 follows away from 390, approaching that 400. Go show them some love in the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 220 Subaroonies on the main channel. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good stuff is available over there on the main channel, my friends. So go show these artists on the main channel some love. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you. So let's get right back into it, my friends. We left off with the homie Patterns, aka Lil Wet Wet. But up next, we got the homie Mac 2 times. Now, Mac's had a really steady 2023. Mac's been kind of really dominating singles, really kind of being relatively consistent when it comes to their work, to be honest with you. Definitely an artist that has really worked on their consistency, but their quality as well. So Mac 2 times, an alternative hip-hop artist, submitted a track titled Retriever. Let's see what we got here, chat. Let's see what we got here. I'm down. Let's pop this open, a new tab. Okay. So literally under a week old. Have an insane cover here. Let's get into it. Mac 2 times Retriever.
I know that these bitches dirty loud, I don't need one. Get to my ass to go to achieve, yeah. And I ain't finna settle, man, I gotta be the beast, yeah. If you stop gold, then call me Retriever. Shorty ass tricking, telling me to pay a rent. Fucking doing for me, but talking gibberish. Do the shit on my own. I ain't looking for a split. Pockets getting too swole. Finna make a nigga trip. I know this bitch 30 loud, I don't need one. Get to the money, I have to go to achieve, yeah. I ain't finna settle, man, I gotta be a beast, yeah. If you sell gold, then call me retriever. Shorty ass tricking, telling me to pay a rent. Fucking doing for me, but talking gibberish. Do the shit on my own. I ain't looking for a split. Pockets getting too swole. Finna make a nigga trip. Got a couple wishes, so I'm looking for a genie. First one, ask for niggas to believe me. Wish 2 more racks when I'm fiending. Give number 3 to my mom, won't keep. I ain't wishing for success, cause it take hard work. That's the one thing that my pops always preaching. I'm from the pain when my ex left me in the dirt. In due time, best believe the bitch see me. Miss my grandma, need it now. So early, why you had to leave me? Taught me the ways of life, but I'm still asking how. The fuck am I supposed to lead it? Cause I'm steady tossing all of these bottles back. Lately been trying to relax. Ain't gon' lie, this shit might take over me. There, wish would've went back to the past. Miss my grandma, need it now. So early, why you had to leave me? Taught me the ways of life, but I'm still asking how. The fuck am I supposed to lead it? Cause I'm steady tossing all of these bottles back. Lately been trying to relax. Ain't gon' lie, this shit might take over me. There, wish would've went back to the past. I know that this bitch 30 loud, I don't need one. Get to the money, I have to go to achieve, yeah. I ain't finna settle, man, I gotta be the beast, yeah. If it's about gold, then call me retriever. Shorty ass tricking, telling me to pay a rent. Fucking doing for me, but talking gibberish. Do the shit on my own. I ain't looking for a split. Pockets getting too swole. Finna make a nigga trip. I know that this bitch 30 loud, I don't need one. Get to the money, I have to go to achieve, yeah. I ain't finna settle, man, I gotta be the beast, yeah. If it's about gold, then call me retriever. Shorty ass tricking, telling me to pay a rent. Fucking doing for me, but talking gibberish. Do the shit on my own. I ain't looking for a split. Pockets getting too swole. Finna make a nigga trip, yeah.
Damn, blood. Okay. Let's go, man. Holy shit. That might be Mac's best song of this year, bro. What the fuck? That was crazy. That was absolutely crazy, man. Let's go. Let's talk about it, because this one... Wow, okay. I wasn't expecting that. Let's break this down. So we're gonna talk about 3 things here. We'll talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Retriever. So, let's talk instrumental. I love this choice from Mac 2 Times, right? I think this is a Mac 2 Times type beat. I feel like this is what Mac really resonates with for the most part, right? This is what we first heard Mac on. This is what we first kind of got introduced to Mac 2 Times with, was this guitar, heavily trap drum inspired, kind of emotional instrumental. And I feel like this is right back to the roots, man. So the choice is solid, but the instrumental mix itself is really, really solid. Nothing clashing to overbearing. Drums are good. Drum patterns are good. Everything cuts through nicely, nice and level. Well-rounded. Yeah, no, like, nothing about this instrumental mix kind of threw me off at all. So the mix is solid. Instrumental shining star. I kind of want to say drums, but the melody and the structure kind of are up there too, but the way that these drums come in and then the way that Mac comes in was like, okay. So I kind of knew what type of time Mac was on. So probably the drums, just because they hit so good. And the drum selection itself was just like, So yeah, definitely drums. Let's talk vocals. So vocals. All right. So vocal mix is great. Mac's had a really consistent vocal mix when it comes to a lot of their tracks lately. So it's really come to no surprise that this mix is like A1. Not really a shocker, but of course something you want to always point out. Mac has always like leaned into the direction of kind of like more kind of like raw but not too raw vocals mixed with, you know, a little bit of processing. So I feel like Mac's vocals here are like A1. But the vocal shining star, man. Probably flow and cadence, I'm not gonna lie. The way that Mac slid on this was crazy. writing was definitely up there, but the way that Mac flowed on this was awesome. Like, it was definitely not what I was expecting, and I feel like Mac did a really good job, kind of like trying to like push the ceiling as far as like what they can do as an artist. So, definitely flow and cadence, but writing is definitely a close second for sure. Definitely. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence. Writing's a close second. But let's talk theme. So aesthetics. Retriever. There's a lot of puns on like being a retriever, golden retriever, kind of like in that like a money aspect. So I feel like this is a perfect cover. Kind of went with the like minimal, kind of like simplistic kind of aspect, but not really, because there is a lot going on here, but it is a very simple kind of cover. And then you throw in the parental advisory bottom right, retriever in the middle. Kind of has that Mac flavor to it, but also a little bit like different as well. So aesthetics, absolutely on point. Overall theme. Now, Mac kind of touches on a couple different feelings here, and we all know that Mac is kind of, you know, never shied away from actually like, you know, kind of talking about their feelings, but you know, there's a lot of like different kinds of points of emotion here, right? There's frustration, there's a little bit of personal emotions, affectionate emotions, kind of sad emotions as well. So this is a little bit of everything from Mac, and kind of like really venting almost, but also kind of like having that lyricism showcase as well. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Mac 2 times. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you follow Mac on SoundCloud. They're 5 follows away from 30, man. Go show Mac some love. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you follow Mac on Twitter. They're 7 followers away from 150. Go show them some love over there on the Bird app, my friends. And we upload every Thursday and every Saturday on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, man. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff's available on the channel, man. So make sure you go show these artists and the channel some love. Mac 2 times, love, Brody. Much love, my friend. Thank you so much for your submission. And keep it up, my friend. Keep it up. Keep doing your thing. Let's get it, baby. So up next would be Jordan Andrew, but since Jordan Andrew is a Music Mondays Patreon, we had already reacted to Jordan Andrew earlier in the show. So go show some love to Jordan, and if you'd like to see their reaction, definitely go check out the beginning of the show. So, moving on. Up next, we got the homie Al Runa. Now, it's been a while since we heard from Al Runa, man. They are super fucking talented. An alternative artist out of Australia, I believe. And they submitted a track titled Say What You. Say What You. This is going to be kind of crazy because we have not had a chance to react to this one. So, let's see what we got here. Let's pop this open a new tab and let's see what we got here, chat. So this was dropped on September 8th of 2023. So a little over a month ago, about a month and a week. So this is like relatively new. So let's get into it, man. It's been a while since we heard from Al Runa, so I'm excited. Al Runa, Say What You.
Say what you want from me and move on. Tell me exactly what you want. Make it make sense for me and don't stop. It's
Oh my God.
Say what you want from me and move on. Don't take your time to speak from your heart. Let your mind be from the start. It's kinda hard to see in the dark. Say what you want from me and move on. Say what you just say what you mean. I can find out what you're crying for if you convey to me. But every time we talk, there's like a 10-foot wall. Rubbing out on my chalk like you don't care at all. I just wish that you say what you mean. You know I don't got these options. You're the only person with the eyes that I get lost in. Something about the atmosphere settles and I get drawn in. Everything would just come together if you would stop this. Say what you mean from time to time instead of lying. Overthinking's wrong to be relying in. I just wanna be the one that you confided in. Say what you want from me and move on. Tell me exactly what you want. Make it make sense for me and don't stop. It's kinda hard to read your thoughts. Say what you want from me and move on. Don't take your time to speak from your heart. Let your mind be from the start. It's kinda hard to see in the dark. Say what you want from me. Know how you feel of being the same as you, so take my word. Trying to conceal all the pain will only make it worse. Just sitting still in the rain, hoping that it all blurs. It never works. You gotta come to know how you feel of being the same as you, so take my word. Trying to conceal all the pain will only make it worse. Just sitting still in the rain, hoping that it all blurs. It never works. Say what you want from me and move on. Tell me exactly what you want.
Damn!
Make it make sense for me and don't stop. It's kinda hard to read your thoughts. Say what you want from me and move on. Don't take your time to speak from your heart. Let your mind be from the start. It's kinda hard to see in the dark. Say what you want from me and move on.
Well done. Well fucking done. And that outro was great too. That was like such a like well structured outro, man. That was crazy. Holy shit. Okay. Okay. Let's break this one down, my friends. Let's talk about it because this is just wow. Okay. So, we'll talk about three things here. We're talking about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Say What You. Show. Boy, oh boy. All right, let's talk about it. So let's talk about the instrumental. I would assume this is self-produced. I think so. Maybe not. If it's not, we'll discuss. But let's talk mix. Mix is fucking stellar. Everything from guitar to drums to how the vocals sit, pretty much everything about this instrumental has a stellar mix. So with that said, yeah, no gripes, no kind of like that could be fixed. Nah, like I definitely think this instrumental mix was like really fucking solid. Definitely a mix that is right where it needs to be, especially for somebody like Alruna. Definitely. Yeah, no gripes with the instrumental mix at all. Nope, none at all. Instrumental Shining Star. I like the structure a lot. I feel like the structure could be like really underrated here if you didn't really pay attention to the structure. But I really like the guitars here as well. Like the melodies were great. Probably the guitars just because they struck me the most, but I feel like the overall structure of the instrumental could really be like another discussing point. Definitely. So instrumental solid. Definitely the melody, but structure's close second. Let's talk vocals here. So vocal mix is great. Alruna's always had a really solid vocal mix from everything that we've heard here on the show. Quite literally always been like not too raw, but has this like really like nice middle ground, and I feel like Alruna like knows their sweet spot when it comes to their mix. And this is one of those cases where I feel like it's perfect. You wouldn't even want to touch it like at all. And again, per usual, like literally nothing clashy to overbearing, nothing kind of like out of the ordinary in terms of like vocals and things like that. So definitely a really solid vocal mix. Absolutely. So, vocal shining star. Vocal shining star. Let's see here. Um, hmm. I like the writing overall, right? But the hook, the hook is definitely something that you could totally take away from this. You're absolutely gonna remember the hook all day, absolutely. Not even a question. Not even a question. Um, let's talk theme now. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, definitely the hook, not even a question. But writing's close second. Aesthetics and theme. Now, you guys know how I feel about the IRL pictures, but this one's a little bit different because it's more of like a wider shots, right? This one's definitely got a lot more background, obviously, but it's got a lot like a little bit more of like an aesthetic meaning to it, especially when it comes to a track like this that's like semi-emotional and personal. So I do feel like that this one is like right on point with Alruna's vibe, but the IRL covers are always like a really safe choice. Really, really safe choice, and one that I've always favored. So aesthetics on point, absolutely. Overall theme, um say what you. So kind of an interesting theme here because it's definitely like it's not coming from a point of like frustration, but I think it's coming from a point of like being done and also kind of like leveling like yourself up. So it's like just say what you want. You know what I mean? Say what you want and mean it. Say what you want. Say what whatever you want with your whole chest. Say whatever's on your mind. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people find themselves in personal and emotional predicaments where people just aren't, saying what they should be saying in general. You know what I mean? So it's like it's like one of those things where it's like if you've been there, you understand, and if you don't, you kind of understand now. And that's one of those things where it's like, okay. Okay. Yeah, so I feel like Alruna definitely hit the nail on the head, kind of getting their feelings out, but also sending a message to people in their life, but also anybody who needed that. Anybody who was kind of unsure about, saying how they feel and kind of like being honest with themselves to kind of um, give others some sense of peace. Um, it's a very complex topic, but it's also a very much like simple topic as well. So, big shout out to Alruna. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you follow them on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow Alruna on Twitter. There are 30 follows away from 200 or 10 away from 180. Make sure you go show Alruna some love on the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 220 sub-roonies on the main channel, my friends. We upload 2 times a week, literally. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff available there on the channel. So make sure you go show these guys some love. And again, if you already have, thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you here on Music Mondays. So, up next, we got the homie Ghost Candy. Now, it's been some weeks since we heard from Ghost Candy, man. We've had some pretty solid submissions over the course of 2023 from Ghost Candy. But a very, very talented alternative producer submitted Pseudo Human and the caption, "We back with a new album, boys." Okay, Ghost Candy. Okay, I see you. A little new project from the homie Ghost Candy. I'm down. Let's get into it. Ghost Candy, Pseudo Human. Let's go. Oh shit! Oh shit! Yeah. That's heat. Uh-huh. Let's go, man. Absolutely fucking fantastic. Fantastic everything, to be honest with you. I have so much to talk about here, so let's break this down, man. We're talking about two things, because obviously no vocals. So we're talking about the instrumental itself, and we're talking about the overall theme of Pseudo Human. So, let's talk instrumental. Instrumental mix is excellent. Nothing clashing, too overbearing at all. Drums are very solid. Sound selection's very solid. Everything's nice and tight. Nothing's like kind of like overlapping or anything like that. Like this mix is like A1. A1, especially for a track like this and a track that, you know, you'd want the mix to be tight as possible, and this is definitely one of those. Absolutely. The mix is great. Really, really, really fucking solid. Hmm. So, Instrumental Shining Star, there's a lot I like about this, right? All the way down to the drums, the melody, sound selection, mix, like all of it I really like. But one thing stood out the most to me, and that was the structure. I love the way that this is structured out. Everything is always progressing. New sounds are being introduced and taken away. All the way down to the outro, having like a chill outro. Like this is a perfect structure for an instrumental track because it's such a pleasure to listen to, and you could never need vocals on this, even if you never wanted. If somebody with vocals wanted to hop on this shit, no problem. But it's a pleasure to listen to an instrumental like this because it's not like overdone, but it's not super basic either. So I feel like Ghost Candy did a really good job when it comes to the structure, and I feel like that's something you could definitely like underrate like pretty hard. So structure all day, absolutely. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics. Now this is kind of interesting because I popped open the other tab to kind of talk about this for a second. But Ghost Candy's last project, look out the window, it's all digital, and Ghost Candy's new project, it's all digital, look out the window. I think that is fire. Fire. Like such a cool concept. I like that concept a lot. So I just want to get that out there. That's just fire concept. Absolutely fire concept. Because they can relate to each other now, you know what I mean? But as far as theme and aesthetics go, great. Like this is an excellent cover because it's going the minimalist route, right? It's going the simple route. It's going the very much like, you know, less is more, and this is absolutely one of those. Especially for like such a digital a digital kind of like futuristic-esque, almost like post-apocalypse feel. This one definitely hit the nail on the head, especially for an instrumental project for sure. But overall theme of Pseudo-Human. So Ghost was kind of going for a little bit more of like a electronic, sort of like almost galactic yet like android-esque sound, and I feel like they nailed it. They really, really nailed it when it came to like hitting that like futuristic kind of feel to things. You know what I mean? It definitely like hit the mark when it comes to like making this feel like futuristic. For sure. So yeah, Pseudo-Human definitely feels like a track from like 2049. That's for sure. So with that said, huge shout out to Ghost Candy. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you follow Ghost on SoundCloud. They are 9 follows away from 90. Make sure you go show them some love in the cloud. And of course, make sure you follow Ghost on Twitter. They are 9 follows away from 50. Go show them some love on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 220 sub-roonies on the main channel, my friends. So make sure you go show these artists and the channel some love. So, let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Up next, we have the homie Juzo. Now, this is the first time submitting artists, man. We have not heard from the homie Juzo before here on the show, so this will be very, very interesting. They submitted a track titled SIBYL. Let's see what we got here. Let's pop this open in a new tab. Let's see here. So, got insane lyrics and description. Okay. I'm down for the cause. Let's see here. And this is from the project Anima 1. This is track 2 here. Okay. Looks like they've been putting out quite a few tracks and projects for sure. But this track I believe is from 2021, so this is not new at all. This is relatively an older track for sure. Friday, January 15th, so a couple years old. But let's get into it. Juzo, let's go.
Yeah. I'm a sculpture, trying to run away from the vultures. Yeah, man, I love my culture, but a question fits a gift or a curse though. I'm a slave to my upbringing, been saved from the depths of my sinning. Now I spend my life singing, can't quite find any other kind of feeling growing up, but was judged too different for the rest of them. A skinny part of the spectrum, but I muscled it out. My ligaments and my tendons have intended it to help love and represent Asian American with a driven approach. I'm tailor-made by the idiot under the balls. Yeah. Wish I could go back in the past so I can see the truest of my kin and my family. Sold at a price, but adoption was a part of me. So I adopted holy riches as my lottery.
携帯型心理診断鎮圧執行システムドミネーター起動しました。ユーザー認証常森茜監視課公安局刑事課所
Man, I feel so out of place. All I know is this outer space. Alien in the synagogue. Everybody here thinks I'm so deranged. My God, they act fake cause they don't wanna deal with me. Making light in the dark that's real to me. And it hurts when the words don't feel for me. Trying to move in the pain that's still in me. Black nails in my black heart. Defined as my past wrongs. Thought I wouldn't be judged for my sickness. All I wanted was a little acceptance. But I guess I got used to the distance. Since the kid have been down with the misfits. I don't wanna be here no more. Wanna be in my own, oh Lord. They say love, but they love to throw stones down. Too much stigma painted on me. I didn't have enough shame weighted on me. Why they gotta be hating on me? Yeah. I just wanna be understood. Instead they only care about my baggage. Time down, I've been feeling rejected. Locked down in the void, I'm casted.
Okay. Damn, all right. Okay, Juzo. Shit. I see you, man. Okay, that was a great first time submission, man. That was a really, really great first time submission. Let's break this one down, my friends. So, we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, and talk about the overall theme of this track. So, let's talk instrumental, because this is very much like a in-your-face, kind of like, somewhat like modern trap instrumental, but it has a little bit of like an alternative spin on it. You know, it definitely has a little bit of an alternative spin on it. So, let's talk mix. Mix is great. I found no gripes with this mix at all, especially when it comes to the instrumental. Drums knock, vocals sit nice, nothing clashing to overbearing. Melodies are great. Nothing that was kind of like, you know, overly sticking out to me that was like, you know, it's a bit rough type shit. No. Instrumental mix A1, absolutely. Instrumental shining star, definitely the drums. Definitely the drums. The drums were something that came in so hard that it's hard to forget them. They just came in so hot, and it was just one of those like really hard knocking drums that matched with Juzo's vocals. So the sound selection was really on point there as well. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Structure's a close second though. Let's talk vocals here. So when it comes to vocals, man, again, a vocal mix is great. Vocals sit really, really nice on the instrumental. Nothing clashing to overbearing at all. Everything cuts through nicely. All the drums cut through nicely. Definitely not anything I noticed that was like a little bit overbearing at all. Definitely like not even a question. Clean, centered, leveled, and really well rounded. Like no gripes with the vocals at all. Right where they need to be. Let's put it that way. So vocal shining star, man. I'm kind of tied between writing and flow and cadence. Writing's really crazy here because it's super descriptive and really well written, but the flow and cadence is super memorable on this. Like super memorable, especially for like a first impression to Juzo. The flow and cadence will definitely impress you for sure. So flow and cadence for me, but writing's definitely a close second for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Writing solid, or vocals solid, definitely the writing. Vocals are solid, definitely the flow and cadence, but writing's a close second. See, because like I was so tied on those, like I really could have said writing, but flow and cadence kind of like put it over for me as like a first time submitting artist. So definitely flow and cadence, definitely flow and cadence. So let's talk theme here. So let's talk aesthetics. This is definitely a crazy ass piece of art. Like a crazy ass piece of art. I don't know if it's generated or it's 3D rendered or what this could actually be, but whatever it is definitely album worthy, that's for sure. Absolutely album worthy. I like the darkness to it, and the color palette feels very like space Destiny kind of fantasy, but not really. It's almost like more horror. It's got this weird vibe to it, but it's good. I don't know. It's a very interesting piece, that's for sure. Album worthy, not even a question. Now overall theme. Now this phrase could mean anything to Juzo. Doing a quick Google search of it. Greek legend and okay. So the first thing that comes up is something to do with Greek mythology. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of like backstory here when it comes to like these track titles and like what this project probably means to Juzo. So that's very interesting. You know what I mean? So well done. Well fucking done. So again, back to the original point though. This is definitely a track that I feel like Juzo has a lot of like hidden meaning for. As far as like the title goes, right? But the overall theme, Juzo definitely talks about being a black sheep and talks about kind of, you know, recognizing that they're a little bit different than everybody else in terms of like their goals and their talents and what they like to do. So it's a lot about staying away from people who aren't like them, but also kind of dealing with the struggle of being slightly different, but also wanting to push to be more different. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of like really important topics here that get broken down by Juzo. That's a fact. With that said, man, well motherfucking done. Huge shout out to Juzo. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you follow Juzo on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow Juzo on Twitter. They are quite literally approaching 3.5K on the Bird app, my friends. Go show them some love on Twitter, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 220 subroonies on the main channel, my friends. We literally upload 2 times a week, man. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff's available on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love. Tarek, I'm back. I had to get a scooter from my neighbor. What did your neighbor do? Jack your scooter or some shit? Shit. But we left off with the homie Juzo. Up next, we got November. Prod November 02. Now, November is an artist that we have not featured on the Music Mondays podcast before. This is a first time submitting artist, and they submitted a track titled Move. So let's see what we got here. Pop this open, a new tab. My mama broke her ankle? No. Oh, shit. Oh, man. I hope she feels better. That is so bad. What the fuck? I hate seeing parents hurt. That is not cool. I hope she gets better fast. Jesus. Give her my wishes, my friend. That's what she gets. So yeah, first time submitting artist, November 02. Guitars by the homie, written and mixed and mastered by November. Hope you guys enjoy something different. I'm down, November. I am down. Let's get it. November 02, Move. Okay, so much to talk about here. Absolutely much to talk about, man. Wow. Okay, so this is gonna be kind of a loaded one. Yeah, this is gonna be kind of a loaded one. So, let's break this down. We're gonna talk about wow. Okay. This makes sense. Never mind. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This kind of makes sense. Okay. Yeah. So, let's break this down. We're gonna talk about 3 things. Talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Move. So, let's talk instrumental. This is a very bare bones instrumental for what it is, right? There's a couple of effects here. guitar loop, and that's about it, to be honest with you. This is very much, like I said, a bare bones kind of instrumental. So I like the simplistic route. I never think that's a bad thing at all. But for what this mix is, strictly speaking, on the instrumentals mix well. Like I said, you have those couple of effects, you have the guitar, and it's all kind of mixed down relatively well. Nothing clashing too overbearing at all. Guitar definitely sticks out the most, but it has this like acoustic indie kind of feel to it as well. It has a very kind of like peaceful aura to it. So the person who played these guitars did a really, really good job for sure. So the mix is solid. Mix is definitely solid. Instrumental Shining Star. Probably the melody, just because it's so prominent in this track that like it's hard to ignore. So like it like has to play a major role, and plus being so bare bones, like you're forced to pay attention to it. So definitely the melody. So the instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Let's talk vocals here. So vocals is really what I wanted to discuss here. So when it comes to discussing mixes, right, and how we discuss mixes here on the show, so mixing is kind of like a preference thing for the most part, because some mixes could be thrown off and kind of like, you know, like not what you would maybe mix it as, or what somebody might not like as a mix. So mixing your vocals and mixing your instrumentals is somewhat of a subjective kind of thing. So I don't like to harp on mixing too much, especially if it's like a creative integrity kind of deal, and you're like, oh, I mixed it that way on purpose because that's the way I like it. Well, that's your prerogative, you know what I mean? Like that's what you want to do, and there's no like rules against that, you know what I mean? So there's always like that creative element to it, right? And just having your own creative liberties. And then there's like kind of like doing a mix on your own, having an idea of what it should sound like in your head, and then just settling for less. That's definitely the feeling that I'm getting here a little bit, just because of the vocals and the waveform. So if you look at the waveform here, this is a huge waveform. This is a fucking huge waveform. And there's only a guitar, a couple of effects, and vocals on here. And the reason that this waveform is so fucking massive is because these vocals are constantly peaking throughout the whole song. And much like somebody said in the comments, my ears are being tickled in a great way. Well, I wouldn't say a great way. Just because it, like, the red line is so prominent here, I can see it on the DAW. Like I'm closing my eyes and I can see these vocals redlining, and it's just like, just compress it, turn it down, do whatever you got to do to make the mix like at least a little bit more compressed down, so it's not so like distorted. But at the same time, that's a creative liberty, right? Like you could purposely do that, put it out, and be like, that's the way I wanted it. So, like, that's why I don't like to harp on mixes too much, because if you're doing that to your vocals on purpose, then it's like, that's what you like, you know what I mean? And plus, if you have, like, listeners and people that also enjoy it, who cares? But, for what I would say and what I would do, right, and this is something, you know, because Music Mondays isn't a show to, like, tear people down, or, like, you know, in 143 episodes, we've never called somebody's track or submission ass, because that's just not what we do here. But we want to give you tips to go back into the studio, go back into your DAW, go back into recording to think about. And you'll be like, oh, okay, maybe I'll try this. And then go back to the lab and start cooking up again. You know what I mean? Like, how are you supposed to learn if you don't have anything to go back with? And you're like, oh, okay, maybe I could focus on this, or maybe I could do X, Y, or Z. So that would be my tip, is just even compress vocals a little bit more. Like even if you wanted to distort them, you can still distort the shit out of them, but just compress them a little bit so they're not affecting the overall mix of the song. Because like you could have like shitty, like weirdly distorted vocals on purpose, and the songs still sound really solid. You know what I mean? Like it sounds really fucking good. But that's just based all on the mix. So the mix is what's really, really important here, and something that I feel like the song could have benefited from. But considering November has only been making music for like roughly like a year, like their first track was uploaded a year ago, so you can't really like go in on them as if like they've been kind of like running with this style. They're learning, you know what I mean? They're learning, they're trying, and they're putting out music relatively consistently, right? Like, I mean, 1 month ago, 1 month ago, 1 month ago, 16, 21, 20. So like, it's there, you know what I mean? So that's why like I encourage people to go back in the studio and be like, okay, like, let me try to refine this a little bit. And that's like the purpose of what we do here. So with that said, the mix is solid, right? For a newer artist, this is absolutely solid. It's definitely not something I would be ashamed of, or even something that I wouldn't. This is fucking great. Like, it takes courage to put your shit out into the world. You know what I mean? It takes fucking courage. And this is one of those things where November did a really good job kind of experimenting with what they like. And I think that's where they're at right now as an artist, is just kind of experimenting and seeing what they enjoy, you know? So with that said, the vocal mix is right up there. Super solid for what it is. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk vocal shining star. Writing. It's got to be writing for sure. It's not even a question. It's got to be writing. Just because reading along, you can kind of get into the mind a little bit of November. So it's a little bit of like the flow and cadence, yes, but the writing kind of like put this way over for me in terms of like being an intro song for November. And for a listener who's never heard of November, writing definitely put this over for me for sure. And would definitely encourage me to go and listen to more November tracks. Absolutely. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. So, aesthetics. Solid. I mean, we've had like 3 or 4 IRL covers tonight, and this is right along those lines of like, oh, okay, you know, I kind of want to do like an IRL cover, but I kind of want to like, I kind of want to do a slight edit. So like, this is like that middle ground of like, it's simple, yes, but like, I still think November did a good job making this, you know, somewhat unique and distorting it a little and just kind of like making it a little bit more freshened up for sure. But the IRL cover is always a safe bet. Always a safe bet. Overall theme. So I like Move is definitely a good way to cap off a song like this, because this is like more of a song of like, it's definitely an emotional track, but it's more of like a laying out your feelings on the table kind of track as well. It's definitely one of those as to where, you know, November's kind of writing how they feel at the time, but it's also out of pure emotion. So a lot of it is very much like in the moment, but it's honest. So that's how you know this writing is like super fucking pure. And just by like the recording and like the delivery, you know that November is like very, very honest. So again, if this is a track that you kind of resonate with, it's going to hit a bit harder, but if you don't, you're going to appreciate the sonic aspects of it as well. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to November. Make sure you follow November on SoundCloud. They are 5 follows away from 60. And of course, make sure you follow November on Twitter. They are 5 follows away from 280. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. Every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, we're approaching 220 Subroonies. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a lot of good stuff's available there on the main channel, my friends. And of course, huge shout out to everybody that already has subscribed and showed the channel some motherfucking love. Krosh, what's good? I hope you're well. Welcome on in, homie. Happy Monday. So, let's get it, baby. We left off with the homie November. Well done, my friend. Up next, we got the homie Filter. Now, Filter's been absolutely killing it in 2023. Lots of unreleased from Filter, man. Lots of unreleased for sure. Definitely an artist that fucking is like super fucking stacked in terms of new releases and things like that. So let's fucking see what Filter has for us. They submitted a track titled Wedding Rings featuring Emil. Let's see. Now I assume yeah, this is private, so we can't pop this open a new tab now. So we're gonna be chilling right here, but let's get into it. Filter, Wedding Rings featuring Emil. Let's go.
started sparing me with more calls. When you said that it was over, I took it as it was. But then you started regretting using the shit as a weapon. I know what you did, that she was over me. You went to deep to see that she was clear to see. I had no reason to begin when now you dead to me. So quit texting me, so quit. But now I'm losing better things. When I feel not talk about where you raised. Ain't no way you're probably never tell. Ain't no way you got it so bad. I was bugging out my mind, yeah, I didn't know it's real now. Just another bad guy, strung over the pills now. What's the top breaker, just gonna tell the deal now. Think I'm being all young, but it's gonna spill. I was bugging out my mind, yeah, I didn't know it's real now. Just another bad guy, strung over the pills now. What's the top breaker, just gonna tell the deal now. Think I'm being all young, but it's gonna spill.
Why you saying I'm a lost cause? I'm gonna get my life together, then I won't be lost cause I know that you need me and I promise this ain't what it was. And you know I want what's best for you and what is best for us. Wrong timing, wrong night. I did not expect you to become a fucking lifeline. I don't need you, boy, I promise you I will be all fine. Focus on me, focus on my life and everything will align.
I'm losing better things. When I'm feeling not talk about where you raised. Ain't no way you probably never tell. Ain't no way you got it so bad. I was bugging out my mind, yeah, I didn't know it's real now. Just another bad guy, strung over the pills now. What's the top breaker, just gonna tell the deal now. Think I'm being all young, but it's gonna spill. I was bugging out my mind, yeah, I didn't know it's real now. Just another bad guy, strung over the pills now. What's the top breaker, just gonna tell the deal now. Think I'm being all young, but it's gonna spill. No.
Let's fucking go, man. Okay. Let's break this one down, my friends, because wow. Filter. Okay, so we're talking about three things here. We're talking about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Wedding Rings. So, let's talk instrumental, man, because wow, this is a fucking loaded instrumental. But starting off with the mix is great. Per usual with somebody like Filter, not really a shocker that their mix is fucking A1. You know what I mean? Really not a shocker, but you know, something you always got to point out. But as far as the instrumental goes, man, wow. Really a mix that like is like everything you'd want, to be honest with you. Like it's really a mix that's like, okay, like you know, it's going above and beyond, but also kind of like staying at the standard that you'd really want it. But again, that's the usual with Filter. Not really a shocker, but you always got to point it out. So instrumental mix excellence. Let's talk instrumental shining star. So I like the guitar here and this melody's great, but the drums always attract me just because I feel like Filter always has this like perfect amount of mud on their drums. It's like actually really crazy. Like I don't know how they get their drums like super like on point like that, but it's so fine-tuned, man. It's so fine-tuned. But the drums all day, all the way down the drum selection and the patterns, absolutely. So let's talk vocals here. So we do have a feature. This is kind of a rare occurrence for Filter. This is definitely not an artist that we're common with features. I mean, we've probably gotten like one or two over the past like 6 months. And this is one of them. So as far as both of their vocal mix goes, great, especially for this kind of track. You know, you have this alt pop / like alt trap hip hop kind of sound. Absolutely not even a question. Perfect mix across the board. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Vocals sit nice. Everything cuts through nicely. Yeah, no gripes at all with these vocals. But again, that's kind of like the usual with Filter, but you always want to point it out because they are so consistent, and this mix is actually like really well-rounded and nice and level despite everything that's going on here. So not even a question, man. Not even a question. So the mix is solid across the board. Vocal shining star. Probably flow and cadence. Like flow and cadence across the whole song was actually kind of crazy. definitely flow and cadence. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of I feel like Hook might be like a close contender in writing, but definitely flow and cadence across the board. Not even a question. Flow and cadence for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely flow and cadence. Writing's a close second though. Overall theme. Now this is like the second kind of like charcoal, almost crayon type art we've gotten tonight, and this one's actually a bit more erratic than we're used to. So definitely. I mean, this could also be a working cover too, right? Because this is also a privated track, so this is definitely like a working cover. I'm sure this is definitely not a final, or it could be. But I feel like Filter always kind of nails it in terms of aesthetic and like really what they think is like really fitting. But this one has a little bit more of like an erratic feel to it, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. But definitely a solid choice nonetheless. Overall theme, wedding rings. I wouldn't say there's like one ultimate like clear theme where it's like oh my god, that like it's Filter didn't go in this writing a theme. This is very much a showcase of lyricism and how well they can actually perform one of their tracks. And also getting a feature on is like a major like, it's not like a rare thing, but Filter really works with people that are like, that they see that they can really work with. Like that they can really mesh with, that they can really see this person on their song. So that's how I know this feature is like important to them, because they actually not only submitted, but they actually like kind of went all the way through with it, right? So I would expect this to come out at some point. You know what I mean? At some point. But well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Filter. Thank you so much for letting us premiere this on Music Mondays, my friend. Make sure you follow Filter on SoundCloud, and of course, make sure you follow Filter on Twitter. Filter is approaching 30 followers, literally 3 away. Go show Filter some love on the Bird app, and of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 220 subaroonies on the main channel, my friends. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff is available over there. So go show these artists and the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. So holy shit. Huge shout out to Filter again, by the way. Do you accept requests? Submissions are open every Tuesday and they close once the show goes live. So once we're live, submissions are closed, my friend. But so again, we left off with the homie Filter. Up next, we got the homie Thomas Marcus. Let's fucking get into it, because wow. Now, for those of you that don't know, Thomas Marcus, a very, very talented alternative producer, submitted a track titled Long Awaited. Now, Thomas is an artist that had a relatively solid 2023, right? Lots of singles, lots of stuff that we've reacted to here on the show. But, yeah, man, this is an artist that has really nailed down their consistency, for sure. But an alternative lo-fi producer, Thomas Marcus, submitted Long Awaited. What a vibe. Let's fucking go, Thomas. So this kind of had a little bit more of the lo-fi influence than Thomas's usual tracks, right? Because Thomas kind of goes back and forth between the lo-fi sounds. So this one definitely had a little bit more of a lo-fi attachment to it, but also kind of had this blues kind of feel to it. Like I don't know. Very interesting. But let's break this one down, my friends. So we're gonna talk about 3 things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. No, actually, we're talking about 2 things. Talk about the instrumental. Talk about the overall theme of Long Awaited. So, let's talk mix. Mix is great, to be honest with you. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Nothing like, you know, that kind of like super stuck out to me. That was like, you know, kind of like, ooh, you know what I mean? Mix is really on point. Drums are good. Melodies are good. Like I said, nothing clashing, too overbearing. Very well-rounded, nice and level. No gripes with this instrumental at all. No gripes. Okay. So, instrumental mix, very solid, but instrumental shining star, probably the melodies. The melodies here were really spread out, and the structure's a close second, though. Yeah, structure's a close second, but the melodies definitely really took over. Because Thomas is such a good guitar player that the melodies are just kind of like sticking out, you know what I mean? So, structure, close second, melodies for sure. Let's talk theme. So, the overall theme of Long Awaited, aesthetics. Thomas been cranking out this AI generated work, man, and I do like Thomas's picks. I do like the picks. This one kind of has like this cyberpunk feel to it a little bit. But definitely a solid choice nonetheless. Long awaited overall theme. It definitely does have that like coming home from vacation, coming home from a long trip, not seeing somebody for a long time kind of feel. It definitely has that feel for sure. I know that Thomas is like relatively solid when it comes to like how they break down their tracks and like what they title them as, and really like how they really like to really nail it to some degree as far as like what their track should be titled and like what it makes them feel like. Thomas is very good at that. So well done, my friend. Huge shout out to Thomas Marcus. Thank you so much for the submission. Make sure you follow Thomas on Spotify, and of course make sure you follow Thomas Marcus on Twitter. They are approaching 70 followers, literally 5 followers away. Go show Thomas some love, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode, and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 220 sub-roonies on the main channel. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff's available over there on the channel. So go show these artists and the channel some love. Huge shout out to Thomas Marcus. But up next, we got the homie Josh. Too Josh. I love you, Josh. Okay, Josh. I see you. Let's pop this open a new tab. This is a first time submitting artist, so they just submitted their SoundCloud itself. So we'll go play their recent track for sure. So they just dropped 0 to 250 remix. 3 days ago. 3 days ago. Okay. I love you, Josh. Let's get it, Josh. All right, let's get into it. I love you, Josh. 0 to 250 remix. First time submitting artist. Let's go.
These niggas talking so crazy, man, they be acting and shit. Yeah, you know that
set, boy, I count my chips. Yeah, passing the ball, boy, I feel like I'm Pete. Nigga, when I hit a can, a Grammy gon' pay for a fee. Nigga, yeah, counting blues, figures. Yeah, nigga, I got Louis shoes. Nigga, I'm with Tesla, I'm with Ford, they don't know who's who. Nigga, feel like I'm about that bill, I keep me in two. Nigga, and I know that she got two niggas. Got two max in this bitch, so I got like two triggers.
Yeah, you know that Josh Lee back in this bitch. Yeah, run on my set, boy, I'll call my set, boy, I'll call my chicks. Yeah, passing the ball, boy, I feel like I'm Pete. Nigga, when I hit a can, a Grammy gon' pay for a fee. Nigga, yeah, cotton blues, figures. Yeah, nigga, I got Louis shoes. Nigga, I'm with
Huh. Okay. Well done. Let's break this one down. We're gonna talk about three things here. Talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of 0 to 250. So, man, oh man, oh man. All right, let's break down this instrumental. So, instrumental mix. Man, oh man, oh man. So, instrumental mix is definitely solid. Nothing clashing too bad. Vocals sit okay. Nothing like too much or like overbearing. No like super odd gripes with this instrumental mix at all. Definitely like solid and well rounded though, for sure. So instrumental mix definitely solid. Where it is. Instrumental shining star, definitely the drums. Definitely the drums on this for sure. Especially for DP, like the drums absolutely. I like the melody, but the drums are really what's putting it over for me. Melody's a close second. So let's talk vocals here. Josh's vocals are definitely a bit like processed, but I don't think it's pushing the realm of like over processed. It's definitely got a nice middle ground. Vocals sit okay on the instrumental. Everything cuts through decently. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. The vocal mix has definitely got like a solid middle ground as well. Especially with the instrumental for sure. Vocal shining star. Probably the flow and cadence, just because it was a good ride for Josh on this. It was smooth. It was definitely smooth for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics cover. Kind of had like this anime kind of filler cover, but definitely probably means more to Josh than it does to like the listener for sure. You know, definitely some subliminal art there from the homie Josh. That's a fact. Let's see here. So overall theme, I mean 0 to 250 remix. I wouldn't say that there's like an overall like, you know, here's the theme, this is what it's about. Nah, this is definitely more of like a lyrical showcase and Josh's own version of 0 to 250. So, with that said, though, huge shout out to Josh. Thank you so much for this submission, friend. Much love. Make sure you follow Josh on SoundCloud. Josh is approaching 110, literally 10 follows away. Go show Josh some love, my friends. And of course, make sure you follow Josh on Twitter. They are 3 follows away from 110 or 13 away from 120. Go show Josh some love. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 220 sub-roonies on the main channel, so make sure you go show these artists and the main channel some love. And of course, make sure you subscribe, because what the fuck? But you guys know the drill, man. Huge shout out to everybody that already is subscribed. Thank you. So, up next, we got the homie Bloodcat, who's had a really solid 2023, like I said last week, despite what's going on and kind of them, you know, dealing with a little bit of ups and downs, right? But Bloodcat submitted a track titled Speak, a very talented alternative vocalist. Let's see what Bloodcat has for us this week on Music Mondays, my friends. So, let's see here. So it looks like this is a project from. So this is uploaded on Friday, July 28th, but it was from 2019. Bloodcat has so much music, man. So much music. Holy. Yeah, we definitely got to see what's good with this for sure. For sure. Okay, so they submitted a track titled Speak, my friends. Let's get into it.
The universe drips with a juniper mist. She's still moving her hips to a strong. Blue on her lips, I need two, I need six of the you, and I sip till I'm numb. The universe drifts with a juniper mist. She's still moving her hips to a strong. Blue on her lips, I need two, I need six of the you, and I sip till I'm numb. I've been wasting days, all my time spent saving face. I've been making space in my brain while it wastes away. Just speak to me, say what you mean to me, say what you need to me, say what you mean to me. Just speak to me, say what you mean to me, say what you need to me, say what you mean to me. We can be anything, we can be better than everything we've seen. Betting on beggars, it's every dream, every seam caught on your sweater. It's all too hard to find. We can be anything, we can be better than everything we can see hidden in letters. We can be anything, we can be better. It's all too hard to find. I've been waiting days, all my time spent saving face. I've been making space in my brain while it wastes away. Just speak to me, say what you mean to me, say what you need to me, say what you mean to me. Just speak to me, say what you mean to me, say what you need to me, say what you mean to me. Shiny rocks, buying locks, I need locks on my box. Tiny clock on a wrist, piss that I bought. Building with blocks just to watch for the drop. Why it shocks, I don't know, but I'm caught in the heart. Shiny rocks, buying locks, I need locks on my box. Tiny clock on a wrist, piss that I bought. Building with blocks just to watch for the drop. Why it shocks, I don't know, but I'm caught in the heart. I've been wasting days, all my time spent saving face. I've been making space in my brain while it wastes away. Just speak to me, say what you mean to me, say what you need to me, say what you mean to me. Just speak to me, say what you mean to me, say what you need to me, say what you mean to me. I've been wasting days, all my time spent saving face. I've been making space in my brain while it wastes away. Just speak to me, say what you mean to me, say what you need to me, say what you mean to me. Just speak to me, say what you need to me, say what you need to me, say what you mean to me.
God damn, BCat. That was a whole ballad. That was a whole ballad. Let's go, man. That was crazy as hell. But that's like that alternative Bloodcat really coming out and showing what they could do. Really, really coming out and showing what they could do. So, let's break this down, my friends. We're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Speak. So, let's talk instrumental because wow. Instrumental mix is great though. Nothing clashing too overbearing. Nothing like kind of like super out of the ordinary. That's like, I'm a big fan of this instrumental mix for sure. vocals sit nice, everything cuts through nicely, nice and level, nice and even. Nothing that really like struck me kind of weird at all, especially for like how much emotion and substance is in this instrumental. The mix is very much on point, very much. Instrumental Shining Star, probably the drums. I do feel like the guitar and the melody is like very memorable, but the drums kind of like have these patterns and have this kind of like interesting style as to where it's like, damn, you really can't like compete with that. Like those drums are actually really really crazy. So whoever produced this beat did a really good job. I like the drums a lot, but melody's a close second. Let's talk vocals here. So Bloodcat vocals are mixed extremely well. Which I mean, not really a shocker, right? Definitely something that's like, oh, okay, like, you know, it's like the usual Bloodcat, but also this is like a 2019 project or 2019 content. So the fact that it's mixed this well still, or even got like a remix, I think is very telling. But again, nothing clashing too overbearing. Vocals aren't like overly processed, but they're not all like raw either. It definitely has a common middle ground. And Bloodcat always does a really good job with their mixes, so not really too shocked there when it comes to their mix here. Not really surprised, but you know, something that we always got to point out, right? Let's see here. So Vocal Shining Star, it's got to be the hook. Absolutely the hook. Just because the hook is so memorable and so catchy, but the flow and cadence is right up there with it. So definitely the hook, and then flow and cadence are like right behind it. But the hook is super fucking memorable, like absolutely. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums, vocal solid, definitely the hook. Flow and cadence is definitely a close second. Let's talk theme. So Speak. This is from the 2019 project. So I mean, this is such a rare photo that I feel like it's hard to not like this. It's hard to like not enjoy this. This is such a throwback Bloodcat kind of track. Like it's almost like looking back on the past and to see like how Bloodcat, you know, has been evolving. You know, from that to like their Spotify current profile picture is like really fire. So it just says like how far they've come, but yeah. So album worthy? Absolutely. Bro Evolved. Yeah, no, literally. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's exactly like, I'm glad you said that, because that's exactly like pretty much what I was getting at, right? Because you know, you go from like the OG to like something like this. It's fire. You know what I mean? Like actually fire. So it's like, damn, Bloodcat really kind of came through and really leveled up. Really leveled up. I like that. I like that a lot. Overall theme, right? Speak. It's pretty much in the title, especially with the exclamation point. I definitely feel like this is like one of those tracks where you're like, okay, that internal struggle of like wanting somebody to like speak to you truthfully, or like speak their truth while also simultaneously speaking your truth, but also being flexible to like handle whatever they're going through as well. So like it's a very like personal yet like intimate kind of track, but it's also like a one size fits all. So you don't necessarily need to apply it to like a partnership or a relationship. I definitely think you can like apply this to almost anything. But I feel like Bloodcat narrowed this down to a very interesting and well orchestrated theme. That's for sure. I feel like the hook really expands upon it too, though. Like the hook is like really important part of this track as far as like the theme goes and like fully understanding it. So well done. With that said, huge shout out to Bloodcat. Make sure you go follow Bloodcat on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow Cat Calls Fashion on Twitter. That's Bloodcat's alt. They are 4 follows away from 10. Go show them some love, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe. And go show love to the Music Buddies channel, man. God damn it. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff's available over there on the channel, my friends. So make sure you go show these artists some love. And of course, make sure you go show some love to the channel, my friends. You guys know what's up. But we left off with the homie Bloodcat, and of course, last but not least, the homie Jose Batista. Jose Bat 296134888. Shit, that's quite the handle, my friend. First time submitting artist, Jose submitted Estamo Bien Aquí. Okay, so we're about to get some potential damn, okay, so this is about to be crazy. Alright, so let's get into it. Broken Twins. Oh, so this is like a duo, I'm assuming? Sorry, the one piano they had to share as a birthday gift. Later on, their father purchased a guitar for them because he wanted to play his favorite Beatles songs. Broken Twins consists of the dynamic duo Jose. Wait, they're both named Jose? Holy shit. They started loving music at an early age, getting influence on artists of Beatles to Eminem. First was Beatles, Marilyn Manson, Slipknot. They began to fall in love with hip-hop once they heard about 50 and Dr. Dre and want to capture your absence of loving your craft. First time they recorded songs at Rowan University inside a closet. Now 10 years of practicing music. They produce, mix, and master their own tracks. Oh, wow, okay. First time submitting artists, and that's their bio? Let's get into it. Broken Twins, let's go.
Hey, saluda a todos los haters que están ahí, porque de aquí yo no me voy. Estamos bien aquí, no me voy a mudar. Dile shorty que venga porque que está dura. Estamos bien aquí, no me voy a mudar.
Oh, man.
Que aquí no hay de nada, aquí no hay problema, aquí lo resolvemos. Aquí la pistola que hizo el crimen no tiene dueño. Aquí no queda que yo gano todo el día, así que vengan con sus troques, yo no llamo policía, nada. Tengo una jeva, le di su dinero, se hizo completa. A mí me respetan, yo soy un maduro de este planeta. Baja la voz, yo tengo el dinero en esta maleta. Ella quiere más, que abre la boca, le doy su paleta. Mírame bien, el cuello congelado. La mami tiene cámara para tenerlo publicado. Mami, tú eres ice cream, yo te como congelado.
Dude, the flow.
Que lo tengo empleado ya. Usted se puede ir, estamos bien aquí. Ella pregunta cómo estoy, como therapy. Todos son wannabe, I leave a legacy. Tú no pases por mi casa si no tienes ti. Estamos bien aquí, no me voy a mudar. Dile shorty que venga porque que está dura. Estamos bien aquí, no me voy a mudar. No miren pa' acá, que aquí no hay de nada. Espérate, otra pista cocinada, ¿sabes qué? No necesita timbre para dar entrada. JB sale natural como si fuera nada. Tengo esta música está bien animada. Y yo vine pa' ganar, papá. Now ven acá, I'm confused, they don't like the way I flex. Una casa tan grande, necesito el GPS. Ellos dicen otra cosa y yo bailando set. Tú le dices tu amiga, pues yo digo tu ex. I'm the one, tan interesado con todo lo mío. I'm not talking horoscope cuando digo que yo soy un lío. Hold on, explícame, cause I don't know. Cada vez que llego a un lugar se forma un show. All the cameras snap fast, got me feeling like Flash. I'm just trying to get cash and live this life slow. Like this bar, I won't have no time to go, so let's go. Yeah, estamos bien aquí, no me voy a mudar. Dile shorty que venga porque que está dura. Estamos bien aquí, no me voy a mudar. No miren pa' acá, que aquí no hay de nada.
This was fucking tough, bro. That was tough. That was really, really fucking tough. So, that might be one of the best foreign songs we've ever had on the show, bar none. Like, for non-English, and like, obviously I don't speak fucking Spanish, so it's like, that was insane. That was insane. Like, bruh. What? Gotta be one of the best non-English tracks we've had on the show. Gotta be. We've had a couple German tracks. We've had plenty of Spanish tracks, but this one was like, bruh. All right. Let's break this one down, my friends. We're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of this track. So, instrumental is fucking crazy. Like, some of the 808 slides and, like, how hard they knock and the kicks and the drum selection, bro. I don't even, like, what the fuck? I'm pretty sure they said that they were fucking self-produced as well, which is why I was like, damn, that actually fucking bangs. They can produce, mix, and master their own tracks. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. I could tell because it was a very like particular beat. It was the next Despacito, it was a very particular instrumental with how it was laid out. Like the slides in the 808s were like very much like particular, and like how everything came back in, and like how hard that kicked knock behind the 808 kind of sold me. So the mix is fucking 10 out of 10 for me. Super, super solid instrumental mix. Super solid. Instrumental Shining Star, drums all day. I like the melody, but the drums knock really hard. The patterns are great. I have no gripes with the drums at all. Drums, absolutely. Let's talk vocals. Both of them sound great. Like, this sounds like 10 fucking years of music. Like that's what's kind of crazy, is like referring back to the bio again. This genuinely sounds like 10 fucking years worth of music. Like, it really does. Of practicing music, like 10 years, it really does sound like 10 years. Like you don't wake up and make music like this. It's not something you just practice overnight. Like, this is fucking amazing. Really well done. Really, really fucking well done. So back to the vocal mix, man. Like, the right amount of processing, the right amount of rawness, the right amount of like delivery. Like, perfect. So the vocal mix, absolutely great. Vocal Shining Star, flow and cadence. The flow and cadence, like how they kept switching and just going back and forth, and it was kind of this like interesting dynamic, and then the hook rolls back in. Flow and cadence, like it's no brainer. Flow and cadence, absolutely. I might have said writing if I spoke a little bit more Spanish. But flow and cadence for sure. Let's talk theme. So, aesthetics. I love this picture just because it seems like one of those like family cookout kind of pictures where it's just like that off guard shit, and you have like the little text at the bottom. This is like a pure underground cover, bro. Like covers don't get much more underground than this, let me tell you. But solid cover choice nonetheless. Overall theme, obviously not a Spanish speaker, so I can't really like dive super into the theme. But maybe if one of our Spanish viewers could help us out in the comments and show these Broken Twins some love and explain to us what kind of bars they had throughout the track, you know what I mean? I think the title is We Good Here. Let's hit the Google and see what we got. Ready? Let's see here. Estamo. See. Yeah, you're right. What the fuck, Tarek? We're fine here. Yeah. I'm getting a lot of those results. You're right, Tarek. Let's fucking go. Now I need you on the Spanish team, baby. But yeah, so overall theme, definitely one that's, exclusive to the Broken Twins, but definitely like really well done, man. Like this is one of the most like insanely high quality tracks of all tonight, to be honest with you. Like and definitely one of the best non-English speaking tracks of all of 2023, not even a question, especially for a first time submitting artist. So well fucking done. Make sure you follow Broken Twins on Spotify, and of course make sure you follow Broken Twins on Twitter, or just follow the homie Jose. But of course, every art's featured in today's episode, and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. We're approaching 220 subscribers on the Music Money's main channel, my friends. We're 5 subs away from 220. Go show the channel some love. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff available over there. So go show these artists in the channel some love. But with that said, my friends, that concludes episode 143 of the Music Mondays podcast, my friends. We went through almost 20 submissions tonight. We got a YouTube segment done. We did the intro. We did so much, man. And huge shout out to everybody that came through and showed motherfucking love tonight, man. Literally, everybody who came through in the chat, everybody who submitted, thank you. Literally, you guys are amazing. Thank you for fucking coming through and showing love, man. And thank you for fucking per usual. No, but per usual, huge shout out to Vac, huge shout out to Hisoka. Thank you so much for the tier 1 for fucking 32 months. Hisoka coming through with this stuff for 32 months is insane, man. Hisoka, let's go, baby. Thank you so much for the tier 1, man. Awesome Mysterious, thank you so much for coming through. Tarek, thank you for fucking coming through and chilling for like most of the night, man. You did not have to do that. Thank you for coming through and enjoying Music Mondays. I fucking appreciate you, homie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And huge shout out to Krosh. Yeah, 32 is pretty nuts, right? I think Plez is on like 33 or something. 33 or like 37. But yeah, man, let's fucking go. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for all the love, my friends. So with that said, let's talk what's coming up on Music Mondays the next week or so. Let's see what you can count on for us for the rest of the week and all that good jazz. So expect obviously a brand new article this Friday. Expect a brand new edition of the monthly to go up on our SoundCloud. Expect a couple playlist updates and a couple graphic announcements on our socials. Yeah, lots of really, really important stuff coming to the Music Mondays podcast and just Music Mondays in general, man. So again, huge shout out to the whole community. Huge shout out to the Music Mondays staff team. Huge shout out to the community in the chat. Huge shout out to just everybody, man. Thank you guys so much for coming through and showing love, man. A big week coming up for Music Mondays, Zom Slays, Indie Horror Speed Runs. Literally everybody, man. We're going really, really hard for the end of the year. So let's fucking get it, man. Let's fucking get it. So if you guys are interested in submitting for episode 144 of the Music Mondays podcast, submissions open every Tuesday. So if you're watching this live, submissions open tomorrow. If you're watching this on YouTube, submissions are already open. So go submit your shit and check the date, baby. Let's get some fire in here. All right? All right. So if you're interested in submitting for anything else, SoundCloud Sunday, things like that, make sure you go follow us on socials at All Music Motherfucking Mondays. But again, we're about 9 away from the 20 sub goal, so huge shout out to everybody that's been gifting, showing love, all that good stuff. You guys are amazing, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Much love to all of our Patreons on screen as well. Ryuki, King Mark, TDG, you guys are amazing. Much love to Tarek again for just coming through and hanging out in the chat for the night. You're a fucking goat. I'll probably make you a mod, just because you've been holding it down. I appreciate it. But it's been your boy Zom Slays. Make sure you follow us at All Music Mondays on all socials, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, fucking all that good stuff. Make sure you follow me at Zom Slays, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all that good shit. Exclamation point MM in the chats. And make sure you follow the channel and subscribe below because we're live like 6 or 7 days a week, my friends. And of course, we'll be live next week with episode 144 of the Music Mondays podcast. I'm going to go watch the homies over at GDQ and go show them some love. So let's fucking get it. Expect some announcements. Expect a lot of good stuff from us. Stay tuned. Be safe. It's been your boy Zom Slays. I love you guys so much. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for submitting. We love you. Take care. Be safe. We'll see you next week.